Hello. Um, wait. Hello. Oh my god, that's ugly. Hello, guys. Welcome. Hi. I just wanted to test a couple things. I fell asleep and then I woke up and I was like, wait. Uh, hold up. Okay, let me fix something. I had these captions set up and I made the outline this color and I was like, is this gonna show up properly? Because I know I had red before and it was not showing up very well. So let me fix that. And I don't know, my captions don't work if I'm not live, so let's see here. I don't want that color. Oh, let's do red. Is that better? No, it's not. Well, hold up. Okay. Can you guys see this color? Can you guys see my red? Or should I change the color to, I don't know, white? Or yellow? I have, Does yellow work? Does red work? I don't know. Let's leave it like this. It's a little bit clear, I don't know. Can see, but it's not a good contrast against the dark gray background. Okay, one sec. Let me fix it. Let me see. Also, I don't. I forgot I did that. So, I have a nested scene in OBS with my CC, right? I don't know if I should be having that as a CC. I should just, because it's only a source of its own, I don't know why I have it in its own nested scene if it's only the only scene in that scene. Because that means I have to go, like, every single time I have to fix it, I have to go to studio mode, I have to go into here, and then I have to edit it from that part. So, I don't know. Okay, let me change the color. I'm gonna change my font color to... I see here. I'm gonna change it to my, like, golden yellow color. Here. And then I can change the outline to probably white. What color? Wow, that's even worse. I don't think white is a good idea. Hold up. Select color. White? No, white is not good. Black. And then I'm going to change the outline to something really thick. Okay, does this work? You guys can see it change in real time. Does this work? Also, guys, I fixed the YouTube latency, so I don't know what the chat delay looks like. I think it should be a little bit better. There we go. Yay, there we go. Looks good. Thank you. I fixed the chat delay and on YouTube, and I don't know, we're on ultra low latency mode, so let me know if that's better, because before, I don't know why, but I had it on like high latency. I'm not sure why it was set to that, but it was on high latency, and I think that's the reason why chat delay on YouTube was maybe 20 seconds. How am I? I'm good. I'm really good. I fell asleep a little bit. I said this before, I fell asleep. Let me move my chat. I fell asleep a little bit, but that's fine. You know, like, I don't know, I think I said this before, but I have a bad habit of when I'm, like, when I get home, I fall asleep, I, like, pass out, I lie down. And that's my bad habit because I don't know, I just like... My mouth just did something weird. I lie down and then I pass out and I wake up and I'm like, oh no. So... Why'd you copy and paste that? Are you pretending to be a bot? You're pretending to be Kami-sama? But yes, I just wanted to talk about a couple of things because yesterday I did karaoke and we did not get to talk. I wanted to talk about things, but yes. One thing I wanted to do was I wanted to fix my captions, and then the second time I wanted to test the YouTube chat delay ultra latency mode. So I think timing should be better. Like, I don't know, we can test it out. I think it should be better. Like, chat delay should be like a lot faster compared to like Twitch. Still a little bit delayed, but better. Yeah. I mean, YouTube will always be a little bit slower than Twitch, I think. Probably because Twitch is more... I don't know, I think Twitch like does something better like with his chat, but that might just be YouTube issue. Because we are on... Let's see here. We are on like ultra low latency required. Like, this is the lowest it gets. Oh gosh, it says an error occurred. Probably because I tried to edit something. Yeah. Oopsies. I clicked something weird. I don't know what happened. It's probably telling me I can't edit it while it's live. I clicked something. But yes. Yesterday I did a karaoke. It's so funny. For some reason, I did not get copyright struck. I don't know how that works, but it was really funny because I got a notification the other day that was like, oh, we've detected copyright content on this video, but it's fine because, you know, we're not going to take action against it because, like, it's not, like, whatever, right? But for some reason, one song was like, this song is banned in Russia. It's banned in one country. It's restricted in one country. I was like, which country is that? And it's Russia. And I was like, huh. And you know what song it was? It was Fly Me to the Moon. So people in Russia specifically, I am so sorry that one VOD is unviewable to you guys, apparently, because of that one song. I don't know. It was Fly Me to the Moon. Cold War stuff? No? I don't think so. I don't know. But yes, apparently it's restricted in one country. That's it. But yeah. I don't know why you keep bringing up view counts. Who are you? Okay, never mind. Okay, if you mention view counts again, I will bonk you, okay? Because personally, I don't mind. I can see it on my screen. Obviously because I'm the streamer, but like, if you do that to other people, that's not very nice to do. You don't mind talking to no one? No, I do not. Well, I do not mind because when I first started, okay, never mind. I like talking to you guys, okay? I like talking to you guys, but I also started out as like a nobody, you know? I started out with nobody. So I don't mind speaking to myself because I'm good at talking to nobody. And I still am. Okay, you know what? I'm kicking you out of here. Okay, they're being weirdo, so I got rid of them. Anyways, back to our regularly scheduled program. I appreciate people who all stop by. I don't care about view counts. I don't care about numbers. I'm not really here to make it as a streamer. Or to, like, I don't know, do better. Actually, that's true. I always try to do better, but at the same time, I want to grow at my own pace. I don't want to blow up out of nowhere. That's kind of, like, scary. If I were to, I don't know, wake up one day with, like, 1,000 people watching me, I'd be very scared. I'd be like, what did I do? What did I do? But yes, trolls, yeah. It's in my... No, is it in my chat rules? No, it's not. I don't know what my chat rules are. You would think that would be proper etiquette, but apparently not. Here, let's see my chat rules, right? I did warn them last time. They were here the other day, right? About views. Maybe 2 days ago, no. On Wednesday, they were here also, right? And they were like, you have only 8 viewers. I was like, really, dude? I don't care. 8 people is 8 people. That's a lot of people. That's enough people for a Alcohol Anonymous, okay? That's enough for a intervention. Like, that's a lot of people. I don't know what they're talking about. I don't know what they're talking about. If it was only me, if there was only one person and one person was me, that's one thing. I don't care. I can talk to myself for hours, okay? YouTube only me, I think. I don't know. You can hang out. you can hang out. They have one follower that cannot talk. I don't know. But yes, if it was just me, that's one thing. I don't care. I could talk to myself for hours, you know? I did that. I've done that before. When I first started, I streamed to myself and I was just like sitting here for hours just talking. Me too. Welcome, YouTube person. There you go. There you go, Dorothy. You're not alone. There's somebody else on YouTube. There you go. Yes. So I don't know what they were on about like, oh, there's so few people in here. That's a lot of people. Like, so what the heck? Anyway, let me look at my rules. Yes, obviously. Yeah, I guess it's not in my rules, but you would think that'd be like obviously stream etiquette, right? Some people don't have common sense. Just ignore and ban attention is what they're after. I get, yeah. True. That's true. I do a really bad habit of like interacting with trolls. I don't know why. I'll see people and I'm like, I know that they're trolling. I know that they're trolling, but I just want to talk to them. I would know I'm a certified internet troll, yeah. It's fine. I like responding to trolls because that's just me. I'm bored. And also I think it'd be funny, right? I'll be like, hey, you know, it'd be funny if I like responded to that, but at the same time I'm like, you know what, I shouldn't give in to the bait. I probably shouldn't be giving into the bait, but at the same time I'm like, I just want to talk. I just want to say hi, you know? But yeah. I've had a couple trolls actually come in. I want to see the list of people I have banned on this channel because I know most of them are bots, but there are some people who are genuinely just weirdos. But yes, the other day I was doing a karaoke and okay, I want to talk about one thing. That was fun yesterday, by the way. I did a meme song karaoke where I spun a roulette wheel and then we sung like a lot of meme songs. It was in between that. I sung like random songs and then in between each song I put on the roulette wheel, Never Gonna Give You Up. And every time we sung Never Gonna Give You Up, I say we as in a collective as if everybody was singing with me, but it was just me, I guess. I sung Never Gonna Give You Up, but every single time that popped up, I just sang it like one key higher or something like that. Or a little bit higher. And then the next time we sung it was like super high. And then higher and higher. So that was fun. I wanted to say, like, I don't practice my karaoke's, so that was the first time I've actually sung a lot of those songs for the first time. Like, I listen to the songs, I know how they go generally, right? But when it comes to actually singing it, that was like my first time actually singing it as a karaoke and on stream. So I was like, oh, I hope I'm doing these correctly. And I was like listening to other people do karaoke's. I'm like, do people practice karaoke's? Do people do that? Is that a thing? And I guess they do, if it's a song that they don't really know very well. But I'm not sure. I was like, maybe I should practice. Maybe I should have. Maybe. I don't know. And yeah, that was what we were doing today. I'm just gonna talk, and then I was gonna play a game earlier, but it's like 1 a.m. So I think I'm going to like just hang out for a little bit and chat. And then also, I have to wake up. What game? I don't know. I was decided between... Let's see here. It was between Just Crow Things, because I've been wanting to play that for weeks. Or Fields of Mystria. Just so everyone to listen, thank you. Or Fields of Mystria, I don't know. It was either one of those, but it's okay. We don't have to sit here. Or I don't know. I could pull up. Dorothy Speaks the Truth. I don't know. Or we can pull up. I don't know. Let's see here. What do I have on my screen right now? Power Wash Simulator. Okay, I updated my game list. So I have a game list that I made a Notion like a long time ago. I updated it with the more recent games that I have. Oh, that reminds me, I have to buy Repo. I updated my game list. So I believe, yeah, I posted it in my chat. I believe it's on my card. So I think in my About section I have something there. Well, it's in a lot of places, my card. In the About section, but I updated a lot of games, and then I updated the ones that I'm currently doing so that people are like, hey, what game are you playing? I'm like, these are the games that I'm currently playing that I plan to finish. These are the games that I dropped. These are the games that I have on my wish list. These are games that I have on my backlog that I plan to play at some point eventually. And I think I still need to add a couple games because I have an extensive game library. I just don't know if I'm ever gonna get to them all. Because, oh my god, I've like, the time sucks. Time takes forever, but that's fine. We'll get to it eventually. We'll be here for a really long time. Also, I just put on my headphones. I need to hear. Okay, yeah. Let me test my audio. Yeah, I sound fine. I fixed my audio the other day. I found out that when I was talking, there was like this weird hissing in the background. I was like listening to my audio because I watch my own VODs, right? I was listening to my own audio. I was like, why do I sound like that? Like, why does it sound a little bit crunchy? And then I fixed it. So I think it sounds a little bit better now. Mood, I buy games and don't play them. It's so bad. Me too. I think a lot of people do that. Like, I bought Raft, and I'm like, I am never gonna play Raft unless it's with somebody else. I am not gonna play that game unless I'm with somebody else, so I don't know why I got it. It was on sale, to be fair, so it was fine. But you know what they always say? If you don't spend money, right? If you don't spend money... Wait, no. The best sale you could ever get is just to not buy anything. Even if it's on sale, even if you're like, oh, but it's 90% off. If you just don't get it to begin with in the first place, then it's still better. But at the same time, I was like, one day, maybe I will play it, but I don't know. collab with viewers. I did want to do that at some point. I wanted to play Fall Guys. I wanted to play Fall Guys with chat one day. I've never played Fall Guys before. I kind of want to play that. Yeah. That's what I wanted to do. I don't know what other games there are to play. Like, as a large multiplayer game. I don't know. Yes. I've never played Fall Guys before. I kind of want to play it. Would you be interested in Gartic Phone? Ooh, Gartic Phone. Yeah, I think that'd be fun. I don't know how to set that up though. Another thing I wanted to try was play Repo. Yeah, I'm doing that tomorrow. I have to buy the game though. I'm playing that tomorrow with a group of other VTubers. What's it here? What their names are? Lazy Cappy, sorry, not Capo, Cappy. Lazy Cappy, Kuruto, and maybe Bailey B. There are a couple of my VTuber streamer friends that I know. They invited me to stream, so yeah. They're like, oh, do you want to play Repo together? I was like, sure, I don't have the game, but I'll try. I heard it's a horror game. I don't know how we're gonna do because I'm really bad with horror games, but I'm kind of looking forward to it. I know I've heard people say it's really fun, and my friends have also been wanting to play it too. But yeah, should be fun. I'm doing that tomorrow at, I believe, 8:30, 8 o'clock. Tomorrow. I have to touch grass tomorrow, so we'll see how that works out. It's horror, but very fun. All I've seen of that game is that... What are those avatars? They look like little talking trash cans. I've seen them that when you talk, the head moves, and that's kind of funny. But I haven't seen actual gameplay of that. I don't know what you do in that game. I just know that when you talk, they look really funny. Yeah, I don't know what that game's about. Wait, so I have to go out tomorrow and do things. I have to touch grass. I love it. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'll probably be streaming my perspective. But yeah, other collab games I have, or that I wanted to do with chat specifically was... Let me see, do I have my list? I think I wrote down a list. One sec, let me look for it. Oh. No, that's not it. I have too many notes on my phone. I can't find anything. Hold up. Let me look. Games. Nope. Game. No, that's not it. Game? Okay, I can't find it. I don't know where it went. Ideas. I have Jigsaw Puzzle Simulator, my favorite game. Jigsaw Puzzle Simulator, I probably was gonna try playing. I said Fall Guys. We can try Kahoo. I think Kahoo would be funny. I think Kahoo would be funny. I don't know how it would work though. There's that app where you can draw together. You can try that. We can all draw together on a collective board. What other games are like massively multiplayer? Magma? Yeah, the Magma board. I think that's what it's called. What other games do I have? Minecraft. I've played Minecraft before, but I don't know how to do that with chat. It'd have to be like single player, but I don't know how to do that with chat, so I could do like I could do collabs with Minecraft if it's with somebody that I need like a streamer with, but like if it's just with chat, like with the multiplayer, I don't know how that would work. Need a server or realm? That's a thing. I don't know how to set that up. I don't know how to set up a server or realm. Like, that would be a little bit complicated. I don't know how to set that up. Would it be one of those things where I have to be online for people to play on? Because as the only thing I know how to do are like LAN servers, but you need to be on the same Wi-Fi network. And that's because I played Minecraft a long time ago. Viewers set it up for you, whoever can. If you guys have like a powerful enough PC that you can run a server, I don't know, sure. But it's fine. You know, it's fine. You could make your own world, right? I know, but I think you either have to have a computer running it for you, or you have to pay someone else to run it for you. True. A troll server? Like, like, what's it called? What's it called? Like a server. I know because my friend set it up for me before. My voice is dying. It's because I've been drinking this matcha latte, and like milk isn't very good for your throat when you're streaming. Oh my god, my voice is dying. Hold on one sec. It's because when I set up a server with my friends, first we tried Bedrock, and then my friend was paying for a server on Bedrock. My friend was paying for the server to keep it up offline when she was not there. But at the same time, we also started one regularly on Java. Regular? Is it called Java? What is the normal version called? That's not Bedrock. The other one. I think it is Java. We have a server on there now, but it has to be that the person has to run the server for people to be on it. Like, people can't just join whenever. Yeah, regular Java. So when people... Because before we were in Bedrock, it could be like, oh, if anybody wanted to join, like let's say they want to play Minecraft right now, they could just hop onto the server and just play, right? So sometimes I would just hop on by myself, or like people would hop on by themselves and they would play games. They would play and build stuff. But now, if somebody wants to play, we have to have the person set it up on their computer and like turn it on and get the server ready and blah blah. It's not that hard, they just have to press a button, but like they have to have their computer on for that to work. So it has its pros and cons. I think the free version, at least, like if you want to do it free and you don't want to buy a server, you just want to run it off your computer, that's pretty free. Like you can just run things. But if you want to have something that where anybody can join at any time, I think that you have to like pay for that, or at least have your PC on at all times if people want to join, right? Because you have to keep that world open. Me and my friends have a class server. My friend made it and accessed a server. We needed to open that server. Yeah, I think that's the case for a lot of people if they want to run a server. Like you have to have a PC just dedicated to running that server. Which is how a lot of things on the internet work, I think. Like we don't see it, but a lot of things they require a server base to run things. I think if you look at you watch videos of Google's headquarters or something like that, and they have these big server rooms of just these giant PC like supercomputers running their servers, and they have a lot of liquid cooling that goes into it because they have to keep those things on at all times. And if they were to ever like go off, people would be like, oh my god, Google's down. So when they do things, they kind of plan for maintenance, right? They like shut off half of the, let's say they shut off half of the computers to do maintenance, and then that way it can still run. They can still run, but on other servers. Kind of cool, but also scary. Yeah. That's how the internet works, by the way. Everything's just run on big servers underground that we don't see. My friends don't need to have that. He just opens the server and we enter. Yeah. This is for, I'm talking about like a huge global scale for things that require like online internet connectivity without wires. If you want like massive servers. For any kind of website, really. For any kind of website. It doesn't have to just be solely Minecraft. But yes, if you were doing it on a very small scale with just your friends, you just boot up your server and then people can join. But it has to require somebody running the server on a PC in the background for it to work in the first place. But yeah, how are you guys? How is everyone doing? Massive chaos server. Oh my god. I don't know how that would work. There's like insane projects on Minecraft. I remember a long time ago, there used to be like people doing things like, there was a project went around a while ago, right? Like, oh, we're gonna make the entire world in Minecraft. We're gonna build like these massive structures like the real world, like, you know, massive landmarks. Stuff like, we're gonna recreate New York City, we're gonna recreate the Eiffel Tower, we're gonna recreate like, I don't know, the White House or the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Stuff like that, right? Yeah. They were gonna recreate the world. There's also the Great Minecraft Library. There's like a huge Minecraft library where people have actually dedicated their time to rewriting the books in Minecraft of a lot of popular like or old books to just archive things. And that's pretty cool. I think they did import a mod so that you're not limited to the text limits, because you know, if you've ever tried typing a book in Minecraft, the amount of words you can fit on one page is very small. I think they implemented a mod to fix that, to like make it look like an actual book. But it's very cool. You can go there. I think it's still around. I'm not sure if they're still continuing that project, but they were like, we want to create a library in Minecraft. And it exists. And then there was a lot of people dedicated to archiving books in Minecraft. And it's really cool. But yeah, I find that really fascinating. That there are people who are like, you know, I want to create something for the sake of it, just for like a project. Not for profit or anything, but just to solely make things, to create. And I used to be part of like a build team on Minecraft, and it was really fun, because we would all just hang out and build stuff together. We would create worlds. On creative mode, obviously. We can't do that in survival. But in creative mode, we would build things. Like huge, large-scale builds, and it was a lot of fun because you would just vibe. I would vibe. I would be building. I spent hours building on a laptop. I would play Minecraft on a laptop. This is a long time ago. I was playing Minecraft on a laptop while my thing was just, my laptop was overheating on the table. Because all I had was just my laptop to play games on. But yeah, it was nice. I don't have the builds. I use a laptop. Yeah, I would play Minecraft on a Mac. I would play Minecraft on a MacBook. It was great. Because that's one of the few games a MacBook can actually run. I'd be like, wow, I can't wait to play games on Steam. And then I look at Steam, and then there are very few games you can play on Steam with a Mac. Yeah. Why can't you stop playing games? Read a book or something. Me and Minecraft library. Yeah. You could read books. a gaming laptop, but it still gets past the boiling point of water. Yep. Okay, when I first started, I've had a laptop for a really long time because I basically used it for school. And then when I first started streaming, right? When I first started streaming, I started out on a laptop. Some people, well, I guess you guys are all newer. You guys haven't been around for very long. But when I first started streaming, I streamed on a laptop. My laptop's still here, by the way. It's next to me. I use it for school still. But I used to stream on this laptop. The very... my MacBook Pro. I actually I had a USB, what's it called? Hub. A USB hub to connect a lot of things together. So it was daisy chained together. My stream back then was running on just hopes and dreams. First, I started out with just the laptop. I was using the keyboard and the stuff. I had one screen. It was just the laptop. And then I had to connect my audio interface. Ultimate Scuff, yep. It was Scuff Unlimited. I was streaming with my audio interface because it has a USB-C plug-in to my laptop. And then the other one was connected solely through the power, because when your computer is running stream, it drains the power so fast. So I had to keep that thing plugged in at all times. And then the other dedicated port, I have 2 USB ports in this computer. The other one was dedicated to my mic. And the other one was dedicated to, like, the battery. So I had no model. I had just had a PNG on screen. And I was just sitting here in front of my mic. Just, like, I can't, like this. This is all you would see on screen. Just nothing moving but my background. Just my background, and it would just me be talking as a PNG. And it was like that for a little bit, until I got a second monitor. I think we were like that for maybe a couple of weeks, maybe. Like a couple of weeks we were just dedicated PNG. And then afterwards, I got a second monitor because I got a hand-me-down monitor. I was like, okay, I think I can plug it in. So I got a USB hub. And my old monitor, I still have it, but it is a really old. It's like one of my dad's old monitors. It is a Acer VGA. Like, this thing has really bad quality. It's like at most maybe 720, 180p quality. Like a 720 by 1044 size monitor. It's not very big. It's a regular size monitor, but the screen quality isn't that great. It's a little bit dim. But I did get a second monitor. So my second monitor is over here. And then I had that on the laptop. So I could see things at the same time. I could play games. I could do things. I could be like, oh, I can have OBS on one screen, and then I can look over here. And then I can have, like, chat in my game and stuff, right? So I did have something to extend it. So I had to daisy chain stuff together. So I had a VGA to HDMI to USB-C port to my laptop, connected to the power source because those are 2 in 1, and then my mic interface. Because I don't know why I first started out streaming, I was like, you know what we're gonna start with? We're gonna start with a XLR mic. I did not start out with a USB mic, I just went all in because I was like, I am not gonna upgrade this mic. I just want something that I can just keep using and never just never fix, because if I start out with something just decent, then I just don't have to fix it. I don't think anything better. When I first on monitor, when I had a second monitor, yeah, I had it set up so that my laptop was in front of me, and then my second monitor was like to the side right here. And then at that point, I think I was able to run, yeah. No, I wasn't able to run anything. I was still a PNG. I was a PNG for a really long time. So if anybody's all like, oh, ew, PNG tubers. I was a PNG tuber for a really, really long time. I hit affiliate with a PNG. I hit affiliate with a PNG model. And then afterwards, after I hit affiliate, I was like, maybe I want to start doing this a little bit more seriously. So then I got a PC. I bought a PC. So I have a very tiny PC, but I bought one. And then I was able to have Windows, and I was like, wow, I'm using a Windows computer for the very first time. I'm like my own PC, dedicated Windows. I can play whatever games I want. And then that's when I started using a 3D model on Vroid. We're all PNGs. Maybe the PNGs are the friends you made along the way? Yes. Yes, it is. What OS was I using before? I was on a Mac. I was playing games on a Mac, so my game choices were very limited, but there are a couple of games you can play on a Mac. I did a lot of chatting. I did a lot of Minecraft. I played some chess. There's a lot of games you can play on Mac. It's not that bad. Minesweeper, yes. Like board games. Easy games, you know? But yes, I did a lot of chatting. I did a lot of, what's it called? I did some art streams, I guess. But it was a lot of chatting. And I think I did at some point. I'm trying to remember what games I played back then. I think I... Can you play Skyrim? There were a couple of games I could play. But yes, I did get a PC pretty early on. And then I was playing other games. Then I was back to one monitor, by the way. I was back to one monitor because I was using my computer, right? My laptop as one monitor. And then my second monitor was dedicated to my other things. But then when I got a PC, I was back to only one monitor, and I had to open up my laptop on the side to use as like to see chat. But my screen was looking a little bit janky because my screen is not only tiny on my old monitor, but I had to look at the game and OBS at the same time to read chat. So I would play on Windows mode on a very tiny little corner screen. So imagine a regular screen, right? Okay, I have to draw this. One sec. Let me open up. Where is my paint? I need you all to see what I was working with. Okay, we need to visualize this. I need you guys to see what I'm working with. Let me open up something. Window capture. Window to capture paint. Okay, here we go. Let me put it here. All right, so do this. Okay, where's my pen? So imagine like my screen is like this, right? This is my monitor. This is what my monitor looked like when I was streaming games. This is the game screen on windowed mode. Right? This was windowed mode. Over here, this was OBS. Actually, my setup looked a little bit different on OBS. It looked like this. And then it was like that screen. And then I would resize it to like this size, and then it would be like that. So that would be my main screen that you see over here in OBS, and then this would be like my audio levels, and I would see chat on this side. Why? Because I only had one monitor back then. I only had one monitor back then, so I'd be playing games. I'd be playing Skyrim, like POV, the You're in Winterhelm. I would be playing like this. So, if you ever look on me back then, I'd have everything on one screen because I just didn't have anything else. I'd be just playing like that. And then I think I also, oh my god, it was funny too. I also had another screen too. I had OBS, right? And then on my second monitor on my laptop, right, it would look like this. Right? My keyboard. On this side, on my laptop on this side, I would have chat. On here I would have my audio levels, my audio, because I can see that my mics are working, my scenes and everything like that on the side so I can monitor what my stream looks like. And on this side I would have chat and Twitch page open because I was streaming just on Twitch. So I would have like the Twitch stream manager page open looking at my chat. So it was really funny because you could see me turn my head like this because I had a 3D model back then. So every single time you turn your head, I would do this. My head would turn like this much so I could read chat on my on my laptop. And that was fun. That's what I did. That's what I did. The immersive watching experience. Exactly. You could tell when I was reading chat because my head would move like, I'd be like this. What's my setup now? Oh, let me see. How do I make my brush size bigger? Oh. How do I clear the canvas? Oh my god. Home, view, file, new, don't save. Okay, there we go. My setup right now looks like this. Brush. Brushes. My setup right now looks like this. Chat is physically there. Chat is right there. Chat is right there. Okay, right now I'm not using my laptop anymore. I guess I could. I could have 3 monitors if I wanted to, but I'm not. So right now it looks like this. My main monitor, I got a second monitor. Another hand-me-down. Here's my keyboard. My mouse. My interface. My phone. My phone is on a little clamp that's like connected to the back of my desk. My laptop, which is still over here, it actually powers my phone. My laptop's being used as a battery. So my laptop's over here, and then over here I have a second monitor. It's like lower. So here on this side, right, on this monitor, this one, I have Twitch open. The studio, damn. Yeah, we got better. I have Twitch open on this side with Twitch Stream Manager to see my stream chat, as also to see requests, rewards, like Twitch channel point redeems and stuff like that on this side. So I just have this page dedicated to Twitch. On this side, we're still in windowed mode. I don't know, I can't fix it. If I play games, I'm so used to looking at games in windowed mode, I just do the exact same thing. So if I were to ever be playing a game, my window would be over. A little bit bigger, but you know, still, we're still looking at stuff. If I'm playing a game though, sometimes I will resize this Twitch screen, and then I'll have OBS on here too. So I'll have this Twitch page like smaller. So it'll look like this. Over here Twitch monitor, over here OBS. So I'll overlap them a little. So we can see OBS on this side, and then over here we'll have chat on Mix It Up. And then I have my game screen slash OBS. Right now I have OBS open right in front of me. So I'm looking at my audio levels as I'm talking. I just watched it go into the yellow continuously, and I can also look at myself. I can look at myself on screen. I can look at chat over here in this corner. You guys are right here. That's where chat is. So if you look at me turn my head like this, I'm looking directly at chat, or I can look at it at the corner of my eye, or I can turn my head all the way over here and look at Twitch. So that's what it looks like. But it's because my phone is over here that sometimes my face tracking dies a little bit. And then over here, oh shoot. Over here is like the corner of my desk, so my mic is like on a pole. Like literally like that. My mic is over here, so it's right in front of my face. Like right above my head. Forehead levels. It doesn't actually block my face, it's just a little bit higher than my forehead so that you guys can hear me. It's right in front of my face. But that is my current setup. It's a little bit scuffed, it's not the greatest. I'm also drawing right now. Like right behind my monitor too, I have a drawing tablet, so my drawing tablet's right here. So in front of my keyboard, like right down here. I have a drawing tablet, so my drawing tablet's right here. And then my monitor's on a box. Yes, it's a screen tablet, so technically I do have 3 screens. It is a screen tablet, I can look down at it. I have a... It's not that big, it's like 11... No. Yeah, it's 11 inch screen, but it's like 13 in total. It's actually a little bit... No, it's the same size as my laptop, but it's very small. Play games on the tablet? If I did, you guys would just see this. If I'm looking at the screen. It's like kind of low, I can't really see very well. I put it on a box so I can elevate my screen. But if I were to look at my tablet, right, this is what it looks like. I prefer my games on my main monitor, like right here. And if I were to play a game, like if I have to play a game that forces me to play full screen, sometimes I have tried putting chat down here on my drawing tablet, right? I have put chat down here. I just can't see chat very well. I have to like look down actively. Because I have to remember to be like, oh, chat's right here. But yeah, I don't like playing games on my main monitor up here on full screen because I can't see anything. I have to be like, oh, where's chat? I can't see chat. I like having you guys over here in this corner. It makes it easy to see. I have a similar setup, but my monitor is on the left, my laptop in front of me, and my drawing tablet on the right. What? So it looks like... Where's the left? Left? Laptop? Drawing tablet? Sorry, my drawing skills are scuffed. Like this? That's wild. Do you like... How do you draw like that? You have to turn yourself to the side. The tablet has a stand? Yeah, like, you know, it's at an angle. You can't see it. How do you draw like that? Like, you have to turn your body to the side to like... You put on your lap what I need to draw. Oh gosh. Doesn't your tablet get hot though? Doesn't it get hot though? Hold on one sec. Remove. Yes. Not really. Ooh. Cause my current monitor, right? If I'm on it for too long, it gets hot. Or a little bit warm. Like right now, it's a little bit warm. But that just might be because I have it set to like maximum brightness. I have terminal shrimp. Oh my god, your posture. Are you shrimping right now? You gotta sit up straight. Where is my thing? There it is. No. Sit up. You gotta sit up right now. Everybody, if you are shrimping, this is your reminder to sit up. Okay? If I had an asset to point, I would be. I'd be like pointing emoji. Sit up straight. It says shrimple, is that exactly? Also, I moved my screen tablet over. I moved it. There we go. My screen window is over here now. Bye-bye. This is so fun. I love doing this. Did you know that you can do this on OBS when you have a scene? You can have things do a transition effect. So this is my tablet. Very cute. I barely use this thing, but there we go. I did not know that. That's really cool. Yeah. Very cool. Oh yes, that's my tablet. But yeah, I have a drawing tablet. I barely use it. I use it once in a while. I've been drawing my emotes, but I prefer using my iPad to draw, so. I do like my iPad to draw, but at the same time, my PC isn't the best. I'm running a 2060, and we have a lot of scuff. We have a lot of scuff. It's fine. Yeah, my computer can't run the best games. Like, if we play something really heavily resource intensive, my PC likes to die. Right? My PC likes to die. I don't know if you guys noticed, but when I'm playing Monster Hunter, I have to be a Discord Fugi. I have to be a Fugi, I have to be a PNG tuber again because my computer can't even run the game on the lowest settings with my model. Like, all my resources have to be dedicated to playing Monster Hunter if I want to play it on stream. Because streaming takes up a lot of CPU, the game takes up CPU, everything takes up CPU, so... yeah, it's okay. One day, I will have a PC that lets me run games at medium settings. I will be able to run games on medium settings and be able to see and not have everything be super... like, pixelated. It's the dev's fault. Most games are horribly unoptimized these days. That too, I guess. Like, I'm fine playing little mini RPG games, right? Oh, pre-roll ads are on. I'm fine playing little mini games. Like, let's say I wanted to open up Stardew Valley or Leaf Blower Revolution. Right? I wanted to play those games. Those take up barely any CPU. I could run those games and I could do whatever. And I can have my model on screen. You guys can see me move. But I play games that are super heavily resource intensive. Like if I were to pull up Infinity Nikki, or if I were to pull up Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter Wilds specifically. Monster Hunter Wilds. My CPU goes crazy. Minecraft is actually okay. I don't run shaders, I run basic vanilla Minecraft. I think if I were to pull up shaders, my CPU would probably die. My CPU would probably die. My graphics would die with Minecraft shaders. Especially if I got the fancy ones too, the ones that change the trees and the water with the ray tracing. With the leaves falling off the trees, and then every single branch is animated when you look at trees, my screen would just be like stuttering. We'd be lagging. Actually, I can't even play Resident Evil. I can't even play Resident Evil 4 without my screen lagging really badly. I did try playing Resident Evil 4 once, a long time ago, and oh my god, the lag was bad. And it wasn't even the stream quality itself, but it was it says I'm dropping frames. Even right now it says I'm dropping frames, but that's just my PC. Whenever it says encoding overloaded, frames missed due to rendering lag, skip frames due to rendering lag, it's because my PC is just dying. My PC likes to do that. Actually, let me check my task manager. I'm gonna open up task manager. Let me look at what my... We are at... Not bad. We're at 62 CPU, 59 CPU, and 47 GPU. VTube Studio is using up 18%, OBS is using 12%, and then my screen, Firefox, I'm using Firefox to run Twitch Stream Manager, as well as YouTube. To look at YouTube Stream Manager, I have both open. Firefox is taking up 7%, so that's not bad. Although right now it's constantly changing. So let me look at my temperatures. OBS Studio, GeForce, Power Tools. Is this it? How do I look at my PC temperatures again? Oh, there it is. Yes, I want to look at my PC temperatures. Yes. Okay, I have 4 cores. Right now I'm looking at them. My temperature at my PC is 73, 74, 70, and 72. Not bad. Not bad. I'm feeling my PC right now. It's actually kind of... It's not hot, but it's like warm. It's cool on one side, warm on the other. Because the fan's on this side. The fan's on one side and the other side is like basically a brick. But that's how my PC always runs. It used to be really bad because I didn't know you had to power off your PC after every single time you used it, so I would just leave my PC on for hours, for days at a time. It was bad. I look at my PC, I'm like, oh, it's fine. I'll just let it sleep overnight. And now I actually shut it down. Now I actually power off my screen. And now I actually power off my PC when I'm not using it. But before, I used to run that thing on like forever. I don't have a screenshot of it. I should have taken a picture of it, but I've had left it on before for like, I don't even know what's the longest time, probably like weeks. So if you go into my task manager and you look at CPU and it tells you hours the PC's been on, it was probably a crazy number because I had left that thing on for days. But yeah, I want to play games. Yeah, weeks! I've had it on for weeks. Yeah, I just never turned off my PC. It was just on. To be fair, I thought it ran like a laptop that you could just shut it off. Like you could just close the screen, right? Put it on sleep mode and it'd be fine. You know, like a laptop, you can just close the lid and it'd be like, it'll turn itself off. But apparently that's bad for your computer. I don't know what that did to my PC, but we just don't think about it. But yeah, a lot of things that my PC does, I have no idea what it does. Because I am not a PC user, but I am constantly having to update the driver settings on this computer. It's crazy. My driver settings are wild. I'm like, the other day, every single time my PC fell asleep, it would wake up to a black screen and all of my icons would be missing and my taskbar would be blank. And I'm like, why is my PC doing this? And the good thing is about Windows is that you can Google any problem. Normal, yeah. Whenever you Google a problem about Windows, right? It's like, when I shut off my computer, why does it look like this? And it'll tell you, because there are a lot of people who encounter the exact same issues. They're like, oh, that's a graphics driver issue. You have to update your graphics drivers. And I'm like, okay. I update one graphic driver. I restart my computer. I'm having the exact same issue. I'm like, okay, let me try it again. I update another graphics driver. I shut it off. I turn it on again. Same issue. It keeps going. I'm like, oh my god, why does my computer have so many graphics drivers? I go into Windows settings. I go to driver support. I update the graphic drivers from that menu. And I'm like, okay, that's not working. What happened? So then I look onto my PC actual thing. I'm using an Intel. I go into intel.com and I'm like, okay, graphics drivers. Again, graphics drivers. Turns out I think I deleted my driver support. Somehow, it deleted itself. I don't know what happened. I had to reinstall the Intel driver support assistant. It was like, you are outdated on your graphics drivers. I'm like, okay, let me restart those. So I downloaded those, I restarted it, I added new drivers. And then I have to go into NVIDIA and then download those graphics drivers, update those graphic drivers for games. And then I have to do that too, just to be safe. Just to be safe. So that's what happened. It fixed now. But what it did is that it booted my secondary monitor. So my current monitor setup right now looks kind of weird too. So I'm still using my old monitor that I first had. It's still daisy chained. Crazy. VGA to USB-C. No, VGA to HDMI to USB-C. Daisy chained together. My mouse is connected to that hub of USB-C to HDMI. So my mouse is USB plugged into that thing. In the back of my computer, my drawing tablet uses 2 ports. My drawing tablet uses 2 ports, as well as an USB-C. It uses an USB-C and 2 USB-As at the back of my PC. My PC is very small. It has 6 total USB-A ports. 2 in the front, 4 in the back. 2 of those in the back are being used for my tablet. My VGA cable is being ported through a USB-C in the back. The front also has a USB-C that's not being... No, it is being used because it's being used for the tablet. And the other one is being used for the second monitor, which I have an HDMI cable in the back. The other one is also being used for my controller and my interface. So my interface is being ported to a USB-A. So all 4 of my ports in the back are being used. My 2 USB-C ports are being used. And I still have 2 USB-A ports available in the front. So that is my PC setup. I originally did have one also taken up in the front with my external SSD card because I use this for storage for pictures. But I'm not using that right now. I just kind of unplugged it because I'm not using it at the moment. But yeah, I am actually pretty good on space, on USB storage space. If I wanted to attach, let's say, my MP3 player, I can put that into my USB-A port in the front. That's wild, I know, my cable management goes crazy. Because, I don't know if you guys know this, but when you have a monitor, right, you have 2 cables in the back. One is for power solely, and one is for, like, HDMI cables, or just cables on the other side. One is HDMI, one is... What is this thing, VGA? Did I assemble the PC? No! Funny enough, it is a pre-built... Well, I guess it's like a workstation. If you guys ever use like a pre-built workstation, it's like a hub. It comes with its own dedicated... What's it called? Graphics card? And its own dedicated, file. Quack. Yes. Hi, Knight. How are you? It comes with its own thing. So it was very expensive, but at the time I wanted something that was very small and everything else required to be like custom built, and I'm not very good at building PCs. Or I don't know anything about building PCs, and for what I was looking at online, it would have required more equipment than I was able to handle. And at the time I was living in the dorms. This was like pre-pandemic. I was living in the dorms. Doing alright, thanks, hope you've been well. I have been well. That's good. Yay, welcome. We're talking about my PC setup. My My PC was very expensive. If I told you guys the price, you guys would be like, why did you pay so much for that PC? I'd be like, well, I just wanted something this size, so it's easy to carry around. But yes, I'm pretty sure you could get a PC that's better than I have currently for way cheaper, that runs way better, but it would be huge, and I don't want to carry around a PC that big. I like my tiny PC. I really like my tiny PC. But at some point, I do plan to upgrade my PC. I want to build one. I just have to get a lot of equipment for it that I don't have at the moment, because I was like looking online as like, you have to get all these cables, and you have to get like a soldering kit, and you have to like get a motherboard, and you have to plug everything in, and you got to get this kind of cable, and you got to get cooling support and the fans and like a bunch of other things that are really complicated that I don't know how they work. I don't know how that works. You don't need a soldering kit? I don't know. When I'm looking at videos online, it's like, oh, if you want to do this, you gotta like... Okay, to be fair, I'm not looking at giant PCs, I'm looking at small form factor PCs because that's what I want. That's what I need. I like small form factor PCs. I will show you guys the size of my current PC. I have... Let me see, can I pull up a picture? My PC specs are in my Twitch, actually, by the way, if you look at the very bottom. I have a Newick Phantom Cannon 11. Yes, I like my tiny PC. Let me open up my tablet. Hold up. Control, studio mode, scenes, tablet window. This is what it looks like, by the way. One sec. Where's my tablet? Right here. This is what it looks like. My PC is this small, this size. It's very small, yes. It's very cute. It looks like a Wi-Fi router. It is that small. It's very small. It's smaller than my monitor. It's smaller than my laptop. It's like the size of a book. So, at that time, when I was looking at PCs, I was doing a lot of research, and I wanted something that I could just use right away. So, it's actually not that bad. It runs a 2060. It runs a... I thought it was going to be one of those cube ones. That is one of the things I was planning on getting, like a small form factor, if I were to ever build one in the future, right? If I were to ever build one in the future, I want something with a hot swappable, something that I can change graphics cards if I needed to, so I can upgrade a graphics card. I want a 3080. I want a 3080. I don't want a 4060 or anything like that. I want a 3080. A 3080 or a 3060. Just a little bit of an upgrade from my 2060. My NVIDIA 2060, but yes. Probably a 3080 at this point, yeah. Something like that. A 3080 Pro, is it what it's called? But those are all sold out at the moment. I think graphics cards are kind of pricey at this point. I don't think the 3060 is good for the buck anymore. I don't know. Didn't they release their 5000 series now? Don't they have their 5000 series out? That's crazy. I don't think I would ever get that. Maybe in the future if they upgrade to the point where they're at the 10,000s series and I'm like, oh, now it's on sale. Now I can get it for cheaper. Mid-range GPUs aren't worth long term. Yeah, but I don't want a 5000 series. That's kind of crazy. Just get 3080, it's still meta. Well, thank you for sharing with the class. What did you bring to show and tell today? I brought my... whatever. I brought my sweaty gamer mode. Okay, good for you. 3080 is good? Yeah. I was planning on getting something like that, like a 3080, because I don't want something too great, like too complicated. I don't want something that's a little bit too, like, it's, first of all, I don't want something that's expensive. Like, that graphics card is what? How much is it on the market right now? $3,000? Oh my god, that's like the price of my setup. That's like the price of my setup. So I don't want something that expensive. I just want something that's like, okay, decent. Runs better than my current PC setup. And then I guess I can port over my SSD cards, I guess. Unless I want to use my mini PC as a secondary setup. So one, I could have a portable setup because my PC is that small. I could have a portable setup that I take anywhere with me, although I do have a laptop still. I can still technically stream off my laptop. So I have options. I could have a dual PC setup where I have like a very, you know, decently run PC. I have my eyes set on like a type of case and like my setup generally that I want. Like I really like mini ITA. Micro? Mini? I don't know, something like that. ITX case. Like a very small ITX case that's like a little bit more wider than my current PC right now, but around the same height, maybe a little bit shorter. Because I like tiny PCs. I was looking at cases online. There's actually a dedicated Reddit page to small form factor PCs. So I was looking at the types of cases. Either I 3D print one custom made, or I get a pre-built case. But I was looking at PCs online. The thing is, with small form factor PCs, it's really hard to get dedicated USB-A ports, and I need a lot of USB-A ports. If I can't find something that has at least 6, it's going to be difficult. As well as 2 USB-Cs. 2 USB-C cables, like 6 USB-As. I like my storage. I like my cables. I could get a USB hub. True. I have two USB hubs that I'm using that I don't use to its fullest extent. Because for some reason when I tried plugging things into it, my USBs compete with each other and they kind of override each other. So it's better to just plug it directly into the PC, that way they're not competing with each other through the USB hub. I'm not really sure how that works. Yeah, I've had issues in the past where the power through the USB hub gets a little bit dicey and it starts routing all the power through the monitor and then my mouse doesn't work. So yeah, I don't know. I've had to fiddle around with the setup in the back. It's a mess. But it works. It's great. It's scuffed, but it works and I love it. For what it does right now, it's great. Yeah, in the future I do want to get an upgraded PC. I will have, you know, like a little mini case with like a better GPU and stuff like that. I guess I could, yeah, I would have 2 setups. Yeah, a portable setup and another setup for home. What I plan on doing, I plan on running like a dual PC setup. Like I won't run the 2 things at the exact same time, but it would be nice to have one just on the side that I can use for like, I don't know, maybe one side I do internet browsing and the other side I have to figure out how to connect those 2 together. I know some people are talking about like having dual PC setup. I don't know how to get them to work at the exact same time. I have to look into that. I have to research. I don't know how you can get 2 PCs to run the exact same thing at the same time. Unless, I think you have like a box or like an internal interface that you plug both computers into. And then you can have like a button that you can switch monitors back and forth through like the same port and they're running off the same, like the Windows hardware. I don't know how that works. I have to do more research into that topic, but I want to look up how people do like dual PC setups and all that. And I do have my my laptop, so if I travel or if I'm going anywhere, I do have my laptop. I can stream off of my laptop. if I wanted to do like, let's say a full-on dedicated stream in like a different part of my house, for example, like let's say I wanted to go to the kitchen that's upstairs or like in a different room, or if I wanted to record something and I wanted to make a sound room for specifically stream, right? If I wanted to record something that's not in my room right now, getting wired in, yeah. If I had a dedicated closet that I wanted to record stuff in, I could take my mini PC and I could move over there. Right now, I've been recording stuff in my room with a lot of filters. And it's a little bit echoey, but it's fine. It's whatever. It's how it works. If I wanted to record audio for like singing and stuff, I've been recording in the car. I bring my laptop with my audio interface with my mic. I hold my mic in one hand and I just move everything with me. So that's what I've been doing. But if I wanted to move anywhere else, like let's say I want to go to the kitchen, I could bring my mini PC and I could leave my regular PC down in my room. So eventually I guess I could do that, but at the moment, it's fine. It works. We're just slowly upgrading things. That's how it works. Like I said before, I like whatever money I make from Twitch, I just put back into stream. Whatever money I make from streaming, I just put back into stream. Like either I'm like upgrading my setup or like things like that. I have been using, no, that's not true. I've been using the same background since the beginning, but that's not true. I upgraded this background like midway through. Like midway through, I did upgrade my background. Economic cycle, it is. It really is. Yeah, my background I upgraded, and then I did add a couple more things. Like I have dedicated backgrounds like this one. This. Why do I have an outline? This is my background. I have that one. I have a bunch of other backgrounds. I just don't use them. Wait one sec. Let me show you. Background. Ooh, wow. Here, let's be in the void for a little bit. Let's be in the void. There we go. There we go. Now we can be in the void. We can just be in this white room. So I can look like I'm crazy. This really does look like I'm in like a white room with my pillow. Just vibing. Uh-oh, I'm on the wrong scene now. Hey. In the insane asylum. Yes, I'm in the insane asylum. The walls are not padded, but it's fine. We don't have padded walls. It's just a white room. It's just a room that's just blank. I have a table in the background. My singular light source from the ceiling. Yep, that's great. A little bit echoey. Wait. Hold up. I have just the effect for this. It's a little bit echoey in here. Great acoustics. Yep. I should fix that. I should make it a little bit more echoey. Ooh. I fix the mix. Oh wow. Yeah, great acoustics. Low cut. A bop, bop, bop. Mod. Off. On. Wow. Echoey. Ow. Yippee! This sounds like I'm in like, I'm standing here. I can echo forever. Yep, that's how it works. Anyways, I sound like I'm in a bucket. I'm standing here, just speaking into a cave, just echo, echo, echo. Echo forever. Whoa. And we're gonna turn that off. That's how it would sound if I was actually in this room. Like if I were actually in this room right now with no sound dampening whatsoever, it would just be echoey. Did you guys know that when I first started out, my mic was... Well, my mic filters were really bad. If I turned off all of my mic filters, it would sound about the same. I've just added filters to make myself not like... I made myself louder. First of all, I had to increase the gain and then filter out some of the echo and the background noise. So if I do something really loud on this end, it's not going to blast anybody's eardrums out. But yeah. Turn them off, need to hear the truth, Kamiya.
I turned them off and I sound like this.
I'm kidding. Well, I'm gonna keep the limiter on the compressor, but I guess I can turn off... Here, let me turn off everything. This is just me with the gain on. Okay, Alvin. Yeah. Yeah.
I can sound like this. Texture.
But yes, if I turned off all of my things, except for the gain, because I need the gain on, otherwise you can't hear me. If I turn the gain off, I sound like this. Then you guys can't hear me anymore, and I'm really, really quiet. Because my mic interface is like that. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? It's really quiet, right? You guys can't hear me. I have to have the gain on. Yeah, you can't hear me at all, right? You can just see my captions. Yeah. If I don't have the gain on, I don't know why, but my mic just really quiet. But when I'm listening to myself in a, what's it called? Stream audio, whatever. Like let's say I'm recording audio through something else. I can hear myself fine. I just have to boost up my audio to like max. I have to increase the gain. Actually, no, I leave the gain on as is, and then I work with it as is. My mic's a little bit quiet. Do you hear this background? Do you hear the static? That's the sound of just atmosphere. It's a little bit crunchy, right? It's a little bit crispy. That's background noise. And I don't know where it's coming from. It's just the sound of the PC, the sound of the microphone. And I guess this is ASMR mode. This is basically ASMR mode because you hear everything. Yeah, original background music. I'm gonna turn off my BGM. And this is true background music. Just background audio, static, and backrooms. Backrooms audio. This is what it looks like. This is what it sounds like. Yes, I have my EQ that removes it. I don't know what the heck that is. I have my EQ on, and then I have my expander that removes everything, and then my compressor, and then my limiter. So it fixes a lot of my audio. So that's how audio works, audio filters. It makes my audio a little bit better sounding. Yeah. See? Now we're really quiet. Exactly. If I didn't have that on, we would just be sitting here in silence. Or we would be hearing crispy, crunchy noises. Also the sound of my clicking. So when I'm doing things, if I'm clicking, if I'm speaking, you guys can hear the clicking, right? But if I'm not speaking, my clicking is very quiet. So I didn't want that to be super loud. My typing you can hear. You can hear my typing if I'm speaking. But if I'm like not speaking, my typing's not that loud. No, it's hello. For typing streams when I'm working, what I do is that I take my mic and I move it down, like a little bit lower, so that you guys can hear my keyboard. And then it sounds better. So then you guys can hear my keyboard, my clicky mechanical keyboard. So that's my stream setup. Can't believe I talked about my stream setup for like an hour. For like half an hour or so. Oh my god. I need to finish my latte. And I am not gonna sleep. I guess I'm not gonna sleep. I'm gonna drink my matcha latte that has a bunch of caffeine. Let me just try to chug this thing. I need to finish it. Okay, by the way, this is a strawberry matcha latte. It's actually not that bad. It's got like 3 different flavors though. It's got almond milk, and it's got regular milk, and it's got water and matcha and strawberry and green tea. It's a lot of flavors. Not bad, it's okay though. I kinda like it. Do you guys like do you guys drink tea? Do you guys like matcha? Or do you like coffee? Are you coffee people or are you tea people? I cannot drink coffee because caffeine specifically gives me headaches. Or a lot of caffeine from coffee gives me headaches. If I have too much coffee or too much caffeine, I get a headache. It's just me. But that's why I drink tea. For some reason though, matcha or like black tea doesn't give me a headache. I guess because the coffee's less. There's like less caffeine in there, but if I were to drink coffee, I don't know what it is. It just gives me a headache. What's so sad though, because I do like the taste of lattes. I do like the taste of like decaf. But what's the point of drinking decaf? If not for the flavor, if not for the caffeine. So I just don't drink coffee at all. I used to work at a coffee store. I had a lot of stories in the coffee store, but I used to work at a coffee store, and then they would be like, oh, you can make whatever drink you want for your own drinks. And I would just make myself, like, I would try a lot of different drinks, but I would have a couple sips and I'd be like, ugh, I can't finish that. I did find I like blonde espresso shots better than I like regular espresso shots, but the thing is with blonde coffee is that blonde is way stronger than regular coffee. Blonde espresso shots have a lot more caffeine than regular. So I would drink it, like I would have a couple sips and I'd be like, wow, this tastes really good. And then I would be like, the rest of the day I would have a headache. I'd be like, oh no, I had too much coffee. With like 2 sips, mind you. But when I would have decaf, it'd be okay. I'd be like, that's fine. But then I'm like, it's coffee. That's what it tastes like, it's just coffee. Anonymous played Quack for 5 bits. I did not know you could play sound alerts as an anonymous. I didn't know you could do that, unless your username is anonymous. But I don't know how that works. Can't handle the blonde singles in your area now. I can't handle blonde singles. Why does Sound Alert say that? Why does it say anonymous? No, that's wild. Yes, quack. But yeah, when I worked at a coffee store, I would try different drinks. I think it was really good. I'd be like, wow, yeah, it tastes great. I remember my interview with my manager when I first got the job. They put 3 different types of coffee in front of me, and they were like, I want you to take a bite of this brownie and take a sip of this coffee. And I did it, and they were like, what do you taste? And I was like, coffee. And he's like, okay, take a sip of this coffee. And I tried it, and he was like, what do you think? I'm like, it just tastes like coffee. And then he was like, okay, what about this one? And I'm like, it still tastes like coffee. Oh, it still tastes like coffee. I don't know what you want like to hear from me. Oh, it tastes like coffee. And they're like, okay, but like, what about the notes? What about the flavor? Do you notice anything in particular? Is this one's more like stronger, or this one's a little bit more like chocolatey? I'm like, no, it just tastes like coffee. And then he was like, okay, fine. And he was like explaining to me the differences between different types of coffees. He was like, okay, this one has like a type of roast. This one's roasted medium roast. This one's dark roast. This one's like a lighter roast. And it has like this type of accents and flavors that you should be able to taste. And I'm like, no, everything tastes like coffee to me. I don't drink coffee. And he was like, okay, whatever. Yeah, that's fine. But I straight up had to be like, sir, I don't drink coffee. I don't drink coffee on the regular enough to tell the difference between coffee. For me, coffee is just coffee. It tastes like coffee, yeah, it's just coffee. But on its own, perfect. Yeah, you hand me coffee, I'm like, that's coffee, alright. It's just coffee. It's like me with alcohol. You give me anything with just the tiniest little bit of alcohol in, I'll just be like, that's alcohol. I can taste alcohol, I can taste coffee. It'll be 95% milk and a little bit of coffee. I'd be like, I taste the coffee. I know where that is. I can taste the alcohol in anything. I can taste coffee in anything. If it's just got a tiny little hint of it, I'd be like, it's there. And then other people are like, what do you mean? There's barely anything in there. I'm like, no, I can taste it. It's there. I can smell it. I can smell it. But yeah, it was a fun job. I had a lot of weird stories. Like, we had a lot of really interesting regulars. Like, some people would come in with the weirdest orders. They'd be like, oh, I want 8 shots. 8 shots of espresso, right? 3 agave syrup pumps. And like so much mocha. And 3 scoops of ice. I'd be like, oh my god, what is this lady trying to do? Like, what is this lady trying to do with her drink? Or we'd have people come in and be like, oh, do you have... It was at night! This is at nighttime! These people would come in at 6 p.m. 6 p.m. on a weekday, Wednesday, and order so much coffee. I'm like, are you okay? Or we had this one lady who would order a bunch of matcha. So much matcha. She'd be like, I want 13 scoops of matcha. And I'm looking at her like, ma'am, it is 7 p.m. and matcha has caffeine. Are you okay with that? And she's like, yes. I'm like, okay. I don't know what you're trying to do, but that is going to be really strong. Or like when adults would order coffee drinks for their kids. And I'm like, are you sure? Like, you want to give coffee to your child that's like 10? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, okay. Okay. That's your choice. When you work in retail, right? You just learn to just not say anything. You're like, okay. Or start them young. Oh my god. That kid is not gonna sleep tonight. I'm like, I would hand their kid the drink with coffee in it, because I would ask the parent, I'm like, this comes in a non-caffeinated version. Are you sure with that? are you sure? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, okay. And they would give the kid a large sized coffee. I'm like, oh boy, good luck. That's not my problem anymore. Or like I'd be making a drink, right? If I was on bar, I'd be making a drink and I would have people who would stand at the edge of the counter watching me make the drink, and they'd be like, they give me like the stare, you know, when they stare at you like this over the counter. Not on their phone or anything like that, they're just staring at you like this. And they're like, excuse me, I didn't want sugar in that. And I'm like, this isn't your drink. Is your name Gary? And they're like, no. I'm like, I'm not making your drink. But they would stand there and they would hover and they would backseat, and I'm like, oh my god, these people. Why? Or then they would watch me make the drink throughout the entire process, staring at me, and every so often they'd be like, I didn't order that. I'm like, that's not your drink. And then I would put it on the counter and I would call out their name and they would grab it and they'd be like, they would read the label. And they're like, that's not my drink. I'm like, it's not you. I'm making your drink next. Are you Susan? They're like, no, like, it's not your drink. I swear to God. Identity theft is not a joke, nah. Yeah. Oh my god. Just people. You know, just the public. It's the public, you know? Just the public. That's just how it works. It's so sad. I don't know. Working in retail just builds people skills. I will say. You're just like, ah, yes, I've experienced the public. I know how to deal with them. People are dumb sometimes, and days that end with a Y. Yeah. In all days that ends with a Y, there is just people. The public. Just being people. And I don't mind it. I think it's amusing personally. I would come in. I love working with the public. I would come in, I'd be like, what kind of crazy thing am I gonna see today? And I am never disappointed. I would come in, I'd be like, well, time to start a new day of work. I wonder what I'm gonna experience today. And then I would just, people would come in, they would say things, and I'd be like, it's so funny. It's so funny. I'm like on the Truman Show. This is great. This is hilarious, right? That's all. You gotta have things, you gotta take life not seriously. I worked a lot of retail / regular jobs. I treat it as if I'm interacting with NPCs. As if I'm playing a game. Cause that's how you gotta deal with life. That's how you gotta deal with life. You just gotta look at things. It's not a job if you enjoy it. Well, I mean, there are jobs that you can enjoy. You know what they say, right? Do what you'll love and you'll never work a day in your life. But I find it amusing personally. I find it hilarious when I work with people like that. When people come in and they say the weirdest things, they say the stupidest things, and I'm like, you're so funny. You are hilarious. So I'm like, this is a great bit. Because, like, you cannot be sitting in front of me. Oh yeah, you meant that quote. Yeah, that's true. You cannot be sitting in front of me, say with your full-hearted chest that, like, you just say the dumbest thing. Like, yeah. I will believe that you said it to me as a joke. I will take that as a joke. I hope you're not that stupid. But yeah, there are people out there who just say this the wildest things. Like, oh my god. Oh my god. Or they'll just say things that are just entirely incorrect. I'm like, oh my. Whatever. I'm not gonna correct you. I don't get paid enough for that. worked at a theater once, I felt like every week there was at least one person that come back to me and complain after they went to the wrong hallway to get to their auditorium. Exactly. There's just people who say things. There's just people who say things, and I just wanna record them and play it back to them and be like, do you hear yourself right now? But I can't because, you know, you work retail, you're supposed to be nice. You're supposed to be nice to people. And I still deeply believe that everybody in their life should at least wear retail at least once in their life. At least once in their life, I want people to work retail. It doesn't have to be for years, it just has to be a week. I just want somebody to work, every single person should just be mandated to work retail for a week. And I think everybody's lives would be changed. Because then, when you are on the other side of that counter, you know how it feels. And it would just give people such better communication skills when talking to people. If everybody has worked retail at least once, you know? That's what I want. That's what I want. That's what I like. That's what I wish. Hey, hello, how are you? Hi, Peanuts. How are you? I'm still streaming. I'm still here. Yes, I'm yapping. Have you ever worked retail? We're talking about that. Have you ever worked retail? We were talking about how I think everybody should work retail at least once in their life. I think most people have, but there are a lot of people who have not. And they don't know how it works. I think retail's a bit narrow. I think just any customer service job. True. Yeah. If you've ever had to interact with the public forcefully, yes. Customer service. But there's a difference between being a phone line operator. There's a difference between working in person versus working like over a phone or over text chat. Like if you're still considered customer service if you are like one of those people who are like, hello, how may I help you today? On a chat box when you're on a website and you're like, hey, I can't get this website to work, and you go in and you press the little corner and the button says, hey, how can I help you today? And you're like, I need to speak to not a bot. I don't want to speak to your robot automated service. I want to speak to a real person. Those kind of people. You get plenty of dumb people on the phone. That too. But I think there's a difference between seeing people in front of you and you're making eye contact with them as they say things to your face versus over the phone. I mean, like fast food cashiers and stuff. That's still considered customers. Yeah, retail. That is still retail. You're selling something. Yeah, there's a difference between talking to people over the phone versus talking to people, staring them in their face, knowing what they look like, and they say things to your face that are very, very wild. Like, I've had people come up to me and just say things, and they're like, oh. Or people just talk to you in public. I think the public is odd. Like, I used to work in a grocery store, right? And I've had, on my lunch break, I have people come up to me when I'm on my break. I'm wearing my tag, I'm wearing my apron. I'm wearing my apron, and they look at me and they go, oh, I know what you are. And I'm like, oh boy, why? And they look at me and they look at me down there and they're like, I know what you are. Let me guess. Korean. I'm like, what? I'm like, no. What do you mean? Like, you can't just walk up to people and be like, I know what you are. Like, hello? I'm like, this is unprompted too. This is the first thing they ever say to me. I'm like, sir, I don't know you. Who are you? You walk up to me when I'm in the food court and just say things. I'm like, why? Me deadass looking a woman in the eyes and asking if a lawn chair was organic. Oh my god. It's even better when you hear how dumb they are on the phone and they see they're dumb in person. I called people about their orders at a bookstore once. Oh my god. Yeah. I think when you call people over the phone and then you come in and you could be like, ah, so that's what they look like. Versus like people who come in person and you're like, ah, this is how this interaction is gonna go. I will say though that people This is why honestly delivery driving is the best minimum wage work. Yeah, zero interaction with people. Zero interaction with people. Although I'd be kind of scared to work as a delivery driver because I have seen like scary things on like videos, like people who have dogs that they don't leash in their yard, who like run up to you and attack you. I have seen a lot of people who got attacked by dogs delivering packages. And then they're like, oh, I don't know if I have rabies or not. So that's a thing. I did delivery for a gourmet pizza place, so nice and rich customer. Oh, that's true, yeah. But if you work for, I don't know, side chain, major chain retail companies for pizza, but yeah, people who can afford it. I think the best place you could probably work at would be something really expensive, like a golf course. If you were to work at a golf course, you only interact with rich people, and that's great. And then again, a Domino's delivery driver invented Kevlar. That kind of makes sense, you know, when you work with people. You're like, I'm gonna go into this neighborhood and I hope I don't die. I hope I don't get stabbed, you know? There's a lot of crazy things that happen with delivery drivers nowadays. I know there's like on both ends, it's kind of scary because like if you are a female delivery door driver, there's like the risk that you could get like, I don't know, grabbed. Versus if you are home alone and you are ordering food online and somebody delivers your food, you have to be like, I have to pretend that I don't live alone. And that's also kind of scary. I think it's kind of scary either way for both areas. But yeah, most of the jobs I've worked are just in public areas, so I'd be kind of scared. Besides Uber Eats, I've never seen a female delivery driver. I guess. Also Amazon. I don't know, I have never worked those jobs in particular, so I don't know. Also, I do not order out. I'd never order out. I don't think I've ever ordered delivery ever in my life. I remember. I have not ordered delivery ever in my life. I do not order delivery. If I have to get food, I will go out. Or I will just not eat. When I lived by myself, I had, I think, the worst. I don't know if I should call it an ED, but it wasn't. I ate, I just didn't eat as much. I got delivered Ben and Jerry's. Ooh. That's nice. I just ordered mail. But if I were to order food, I don't do that. I just go out. It doesn't matter like when it is. I'd be like, if I have a craving for something, I will go out. I will either walk or drive and I would go get it. There has been times where I'm like, no, not erectile dysfunction. I meant like eating disorder. That'd be funny. I was wondering how you had this shit. No, I'm talking about eating disorders. It's not an eating disorder. I just didn't eat. I don't know why, but when I live by myself, I'm just like, yes, I don't need to eat. I'm just not gonna have dinner tonight, and I'm not gonna have breakfast, and I'm not gonna have lunch. I'm gonna have a granola bar and an apple. Yeah, I know. When you say ED, people always think of like erectile dysfunction, but I'm talking about the other thing. I'm talking about something else. Yeah, I'm talking about something else. You gotta get your mind out of that. I guess, yeah, if you're a guy, your mind goes to that. Y'all aren't on ED TWT Twitter. Or like, you know, way back then when like Tumblr was pretty big. And there were people posting like eating disorder pics, and I was like, oh gosh, why am I on this side? You know, people who post like crazy things like, oh, thinspo. I'm like, oh yeah, that's not great. And I would be on the other side of it where people were criticizing those people. Yeah, that was fun times. I gaslit myself into an 80 because I convinced myself 2 hot dog sausages and string cheese a day was keto. Is cheese keto though? I guess. It has to have no sugar. Oh my god. Yeah, I think keto is like no carbs, right? No carbs, just protein, vegetables, and dairy, I believe. Just straight up fat, right? It's fat, no sugar, no carbs, I believe. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I could ever do keto. I think if you cut out sugar out of your diet entirely, I do know that's pretty good. It worked, not gonna lie, dropped upwards of 45 pounds in a month. My doctor looked horrified. When your doctor looks at you and you're like, oh my god, and you tell them you've only been eating like this for the past couple months, they're like, oh no. Like, what the heck? Yeah. It was really funny when I was like living alone. Because I remember coming back home from school on like a break, and my grandparents were like, oh my god, have you been eating? Why do you look so thin? I'm like, I've been eating, yeah. I just don't feel hungry. It's odd because I was early high school when I did baseball and I was just fine, huh? I mean, I bet your sodium intakes were through the roof. I bet your sodium intake was through the roof. But other than that, I don't know. Cause when, you know how some people, okay, here I don't have this confirmed, but I'm pretty sure I have ADHD. And one of the things that does tend to be a symptom of ADHD is that your connection between your brain and your body is a little bit disconnected. So if I were to eat based off of my own hunger cues, I would not eat at all because I can never tell if I'm hungry or if my stomach hurts or if I need water. So a lot of the times I will just be like, am I hungry? I don't feel hungry. Should I eat? It's been like 6 hours. Should I eat? But I don't feel hungry. That's my thought process. And it's only because like I'm living with my parents right now that I have to eat, because they'd be like, oh, dinner time. It's dinner time. Come eat with us. And I'd be like, okay. But if I were to live by myself, I'd be like, do I want to make dinner? I should. What am I gonna have? I would make the saddest meals possible too. I would be like, I'm gonna cut up a chicken breast and I'm gonna cook it on the frying pan and I'm gonna add a little bit of soy sauce. And that would be my dinner. I would just pan fry a little bit of chicken. I would have the 2 sausage and cheese per day and a glass of orange juice in the morning. That's not keto. That has sugar. Loki, if it's under 14-ish hours since I last ate, I won't think to eat unless the image of food is strongly implanted in my skull. True. If it's been a while and I'm like, wow, I'm hungry. It was funny too, because I would be like, wow, I'm kind of hungry, but the only thing I have for food is like potato chips. And the great thing about potato chips, by the way, isn't keto 0 carb, not sugar, but isn't sugar also carbs? No, carbs get converted to sugar, but I think it depends on the kind of sugar that you eat. I'm not really sure how that works. Because carbs do get converted to sugar, right? I don't know. What was I talking about? Yeah, if I was hungry, I'd be like, wow, the only thing I have right now is to eat is potato chips. And the thing is potato chips have a lot of calories. So I'd be like, I'm gonna eat a handful of potato chips and I just would not feel hungry. I'd have a handful of potato chips and I'd be like, that's my meal. By the way, if you guys look, 13 chips on like a bag of kettle chips is like 130 calories. That's like a meal. I'm like, wow, that's insane. But yeah, I'd have like a handful of chips every single time I felt hungry, and I just wouldn't eat. Well, I would eat like a meal a day, I'd be like, I'm gonna have a can of clam chowder and I'm gonna make pasta and vegetables. So I wasn't dying of like malnutrition. I was fine. I'll be honest, I never taste calories. If I'm hungry, it's the quantity of food that matters. I think that's a healthy way to look at things. They're required to put calorie counts in the back of packaging, but I wouldn't take calorie counts as a scientific measure of like proper food intake. I would go based off of nutrition rather than calories. Like if you, my parents always say half of your plate should be vegetables and a quarter of that should be your protein and the rest can be your carbs or whatever. But your majority should be vegetables. And like the least amount on your plate should probably be carbs. So if you eat like that, it's generally, you're fine. If you're eating your vegetables, that's great. Yeah, if you're eating your vegetables, if you're eating your protein, that's what you should be prioritizing over anything else. If you want carbs, go for it. You shouldn't think about calories. Because when you are doing exercise, protein is probably the most important. Like protein, if you're doing exercise, like specifically weightlifting, that's the best. And then vegetables, obviously, because you need fiber in your diet, you need like vitamins and all that. But yeah, I was never really a picky eater. I just didn't eat for the sake of being lazy. I was the type of person to be like, I'm gonna go eat a whole bell pepper for fun. Like, I have nothing else to eat in the fridge. I'm gonna go eat, I don't know, Flintstone gummies kicking in, yeah. Did you guys grow up with those Flintstone tablets? Not the gummies, but the chalk tablets. They were flavored like fruit. Because I remember for a while, I would have those and I'm like, wow, these things taste like chalk. We would also get the vitamin gummies too, when I was younger. They were shaped like bears, and then they were like berry flavored with they had different flavors. They had like apple, strawberry, grape, stuff like that. And you would eat 2 of them. They were so good. I think at one point, like when I was bored, I don't know if I was supposed to be doing this, but like when I was bored, I would sneak into the kitchen and I would like eat gummies. I would eat the vitamin gummies because I was like, man, I really want candy. And I would just have like an extra. I would have like a little extra gummy. I don't think they would kill you if you had too many, but they were technically vitamins, but they were really good. We had the same ones, yeah, because they sold them at Costco. I had those once at a friend's house, but my friend had the fruity gummy bears coated in sugar. Yeah, but mine weren't covered in sugar. They were just regular bears. They had different kinds. There's like the bears covered in sugar. They have the ones that are just regular bears. They have the bears that are like, they're like pink and white with the swirls, or they're purple and white with the swirl. Those kinds, they're like a milk / berry flavor. Those are cool. My screen is so blue. I just sneak extras. I know that having too many 100% could be bad, because after my 8th bear, I started tasting like plastic. Okay, I think that's too many. I would have at most maybe 3. I would have like 3. 8 is crazy. That's a little too much. 8 is too many. I could never. I think I had like 3 or 4. My parents were the type of people to be like, here is your afternoon snack, and they would give me a plate. You know we're Asian when my parents do this. You know we're Asian when my parents do this. My snack, my after school snack and the afternoon snack would be like this. A plate of cut up fruit, a handful of almonds, some dried cranberries, and more nuts. And then maybe like half a banana and be like cut up apples. And I'm like, wow, fruit. That's my parents. They'd be like, oh, your afternoon snack is this. And then it'd be like dried fruit and then like cut up fruit and then nuts, like a handful of nuts. And I'd be like, oh my god, I do not like nuts. I don't like nuts. So every single time I would sit there and I would stare at it and I'd be like, oh my god, this is like, I would just eat those nuts like pills. I would just put them all in my mouth. They're just dry. I wonder if the Flintstone vitamins are a white household thing and gummies are an Asian household thing. I don't know. My family did try Flintstone gummies at one point and I just didn't like them, so we switched to like gummies. Me coming home after a grueling day of school looking at a plate of sliced apples with pureed. Oh my god. Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't mind the apples, I just don't like nuts. Or my other snack that my parents would make would be a bowl of yogurt. A bowl of yogurt with nuts. That was my with nuts and yogurt. And I'd be like I'd like, great. My mom makes no you make parfait. We shared a mom. That's Asian parents for you, you know? It's so sad. Yeah, that was my mom. I mean, it wasn't like they forced me to finish it. They'd just be like, that's your snack. My mom still soaks almonds. Soaks them? Soaks them? That's kind of weird. Like, I don't mind nuts as long as they are, like, toasted. I like toasted nuts, but if they're raw, I don't like those. She'll soak them and then eat them after a few hours. I don't get it either. That's kind of odd. That's odd. I don't think I've ever heard of anyone does that. Does she wash them with soap? It's kind of... Who washes nuts? But nuts are dry. I don't know what soaking them does. Like, I get peanuts, because peanuts come with the shell and you're supposed to peel those off, like the skin. But... almonds. She soaks almonds in water and eats them? They just taste raw? That's odd. That's interesting. I don't think I've ever heard of anybody who does that. My mom doesn't do that. My mom buys walnuts. And she's always like, I'm gonna go bake stuff. And then she'll put walnuts in the cake and I'm like, yeah. Her go-to recipe she makes every single time, she's like, she makes this cake recipe, but she pours it onto a flat pan like a cookie. And it gets really flat and really dry. And it's basically a cookie, but she's like, oh no, but it's like, I follow the recipe. They're supposed to be muffins, but I put it on a really flat pan. I'm like, that is not a muffin. And she's like, same thing. I'm like, no, it isn't. And then she burns them too, because she'll leave it in the oven and she'll be like, oh, I forgot. And this is how I know that she probably has ADHD. And that's where I got it from. Because she will forget things in the oven all the time. She'd be like, oops, I wasn't watching the stove. She'll walk away. I'm like, it's burning. My mom got super addicted to mug cakes with her tea. Oh my gosh. I have tried mug cakes before because there was a long time there was like a viral mug brownie recipe that you could just microwave. I tried it. It tastes a little too much like egg for me to enjoy because the recipe is like a whole egg, a cup of flour, like a fourth of cup of sugar, and I believe like a teaspoon of baking soda. And I think that's it. You just mix it all together and you stick it in the microwave. And then you eat it with a spoon and it's like really nice and warm and it's like a brownie. I think the one she didn't use egg since she's vegetarian. Ooh. What do you use instead? What do you use instead of egg? What do you... Oh, I guess instead of an egg for moisture, you would just put oil, right? Olive oil. You just put oil or some kind. I'd have to ask her, but it's midnight. No, I'm pretty sure it's egg. Instead of egg, I know what a common substitute for mug cake specifically is oil. Like, you have to use a lot of oil because it adds moisture to the cake. Otherwise, it's dry. But it's like some form of oil. Like plant oil and then water instead of milk. And then flour. And if you want to like add chocolate chips, you can and stuff like that, but luckily I'm home for the summer, so all my expenses are someone else's wallet. Yippee! Yippee! Nice. That reminds me, I am starting school. I said this on the Discord, but next week I am starting school. And I am taking a course that requires me to touch grass. It's great. It's fun. I swear to God, I think we do have the same mom. Because my mom is also kind of partly vegetarian. Her dinner, every single day she'll have a smoothie. With like fruit and ginger and lemon juice. I'm like, that's disgusting. And then she'll like freeze vegetables and put it in there too. Already? Yes. I start school on the 19th. We finished school like 2 weeks ago. I'm doing summer school, so that's how it goes. My mom had that phase. She just eats a handful of raw veggies. Yeah, my mom prefers to just drink her food. And then she will have occasionally chicken, and she will occasionally have fish, but she doesn't like fishy things. So she'll have shrimp. She will have shrimp, and then maybe sometimes she will have like salmon, if it's not fishy. Think vegetarians can eat egg, vegans won't? There's a lot of branches. Yes, there's like pescatarian, there's like... Pescatarian is if you only eat fish, I believe. And then there's the type if you only eat chicken and fish. And there's a type where you only eat chicken. There's stuff where you can eat like... You can have dairy products only. There's some you can have other things. I don't remember. But yeah, there's a lot of different types of things. Yeah, pescatarian is fish. And then there's something else. I started eating more raw stuff. I came home and was eating tomatoes out of the fridge and she was confused. Tomatoes are nice. Listen, if I had a bowl of cherry tomatoes in the fridge, I just once in a while, I would go to the fridge and I would just eat cherry tomatoes. That's why I don't get cherry tomatoes. But I could never fathom people who can eat a whole tomato just in their hand, just taking a bite out of it like an apple. That's too much tomato. Yeah, cherry tomatoes are nice, but like a whole tomato, that's too much. I has to be a tomato hater. That makes sense why she was confused. That's what I do. Yeah. Oh my god, a whole tomato? That's insane. My dad did that with tomatoes? Wow. Oh my god, that's a lot. I could never do that. I don't like tomatoes that much. I'll have a little bit in a salad. Or, like, tomatoes in cooking, right? Tomatoes like a pasta. A summer pasta, like a pasta salad with tomatoes. Ooh, that's really nice. Or like a bruschetta. But tomato by itself as a whole, that's a bit much. Beef, steak, tomato, and left hand, salt shaker, and right over a kitchen sink. Peak eating. Oh my god. You're just having a tomato. No, I would have like a tomato, but like put salt and pepper. Yeah, like salt and pepper on a tomato is nice. Or if you want to cut it up and make your own salsa with some lemon juice and some pepper and some balsamic vinegar. That'd be a really nice tomato salad, actually. That sounds good. I actually don't really enjoy raw vegetables, though. I prefer my food cooked. Like, if you were to give me, like, a salad, I'd be like, I'm gonna cook this. Some things are better raw, like carrots. I hate boiled carrots. Really? But carrots in beef stew are so good. Carrots, when they've been simmered over the stove for a really, really long time and they get really nice and mushy and they absorb the flavor, they're so good. Olive oil, mozzarella, salt and pepper, basil. Ooh, that sounds so good. Like a tomato salad. Raw carrots and celery with some ranch dressing is nice. True. I don't like raw carrots. I like my carrots cooked. I also like my celery cooked. I don't mind having celery raw, but I prefer them cooked. I don't know, I prefer my vegetables cooked. The only thing I will not cook is cucumber. I will have cucumber raw. I think that's fine. Or romaine lettuce. Romaine lettuce is fine, but also that tastes good cooked too. But I like my vegetables cooked. When I was young, I hated carrots, so I learned to fake gagging when I ate them, and now I genuinely can't eat them raw. Oh my god. It's funny, because I like my vegetables cooked and mushy. Well, not super mushy, like, I obviously don't like mushy broccoli, but I don't mind it as much as other people. Because it's okay. Cooked and mushy like my brain. I don't like super mushy vegetables. Like, if you've ever had frozen vegetables, like frozen carrots that have been overcooked, those don't taste good. Overcooked frozen carrots specifically do not taste good. You have to like blanch those foods. You can't overcook frozen vegetables because they're already cooked. When you overcook frozen vegetables, they don't taste good. But yeah, I don't like raw broccoli. I can't eat raw broccoli. When people go bring food to potlucks and they're like, I brought a vegetable platter, I will stare at that thing and be like, ew. I'll have raw bell pepper, I'll have raw cucumber, I'll have raw, like, I don't know what else. But raw broccoli? No. Raw carrots? No. I don't like that. I don't like the taste. Frozen veggies are good for one thing, stir fry. Yeah, frozen veggies are good if you're cooking something really fast. Like if you want to microwave them or if you want to stick them in the pot of boiling water and take them out immediately so that they get, you know, warm. But if you are cooking them for a really long time, I wouldn't recommend it. For stir fry, just to chop up fresh bell peppers and onions. I don't like onions. I hate onions. I don't like onions. If you gave me raw onions, I would not eat them. I would pick them out. I don't like onions. I don't like cooked onions. I don't like raw onions. I don't like green onions. I don't like any form of onions. I used to like eat half a head of broccoli with ranch nightly when I was younger. Oh god. I don't like broccoli that much. Raw? Oh my god, I don't like that. I'm a raw onion enjoyer? Ew, nasty. Nasty. Bleh. But. Ew. Raw onions. I don't like any kind of onions. Like red onion, white onions. That's not good. I can't even eat onion rings. Like if you were to be like, oh, would you like onion rings? I'd be like, no. Like bloomin' onions, onion rings, I don't like them. I don't like onions. If they're really small and cut up, like if it was in chicken noodle soup and they're very tiny, I don't mind if they've been boiled to the point that there's no flavor. But if there are giant rings in soup, I will not eat it. I will pick out those onions. Like French onion soup, I will not eat. Onion rings are just an excuse to eat the breading. True, by the time you fry an onion, the onion just disappears. The onion just becomes gone. I know a lot of Spanish and Indian foods have it as a side. Onion rings? Onion rings as a side? Or just like raw onion? Onion rings are for people who like the taste of ranch. What is that one place? They have like, there is a certain chain here that's known for bloomin' onions where they take a whole onion, they cut it up so that the base is still together. Outback? Okay. They take the whole thing and they fry it. with spices and they like batter it up. It looks pretty, but it doesn't, I don't like onions. It looks pretty, it smells nice, but I'm like, oh god, I don't enjoy onions that much. Outback. I like how you guys instantly knew what that was because I had not known about it until I had a coworker bring it in. I've had it. I went to the shark drink. It was fun. Ooh, I've never heard of that place before. It's good but unhealthy unless you're splitting it between 6 people. Yeah. I had a coworker bring it in once and she was like, "Oh, would you like to try it? This is a bloomin' onion." I was like, "I've never heard of that thing before. I've never been." Used to go to Outback with my family a bunch. Still go there with my wife a couple times a year. You're married? I'm sorry. I assume that people I'm talking to are just like, I don't know, chat on a screen, just boxes. That's cool. Good for you. So am I? Yes. Boxes. I don't know, I don't put faces to people. So I'm just like, ah yes, I'm talking to like people in a forum, just faceless things, faceless entities. I don't know anything about people. It's not like I'm like, oh, this person is like, I know exactly what you look like, you're 54 years old. Doesn't that mean more than half the chat is married? Oh, true. Wait. I don't know. How do you guys get married? Girl hot. You gotta have Riz. But that's maybe half the chat here. Maybe half the chat here doesn't have that ability. Okay, I think only one person in this entire chat is married, okay? Like, I think a majority of the people here don't have game. Listen, not true you can have Riz dead and she can take pity on you? Oh gosh. My story started with buying a PS Vita. That's old. Sorry, I didn't mean to call you old, but that's age. No, I think half my chat here, most of the people here are pretty young, so I don't expect people to be married, but I am surprised to hear that somebody's like older. How old are you? Yes. Yes. Old enough. I'm 22. Nice. That's still young, you know. Most people don't get married until they're like 30. Soon I'm 22. Okay, well. Around there, around age. I think most people in my chat are like, I want to say 20s to late 20s. Except for Knight, who's probably like, you know, old enough to know what a PS Vita is. I know what that is. Did arranged marriage come up? Not for me, but I have relatives who were in an arranged marriage. Fun fact, my grandmother had an arranged marriage. I don't know how my other side of grandparents met. I really don't know. No, it's not arranged marriage, but it's a different term. It's, I know, do you want to meet my aunt's son? I went to an exercise class and then they have a son. Do you want to meet? They're a doctor. I think it'd be really nice for you guys to meet. I'll give you their phone number. That's their version. It's not arranged marriage. They just say, do you want to meet somebody? Marriage by proxy, exactly. It's always like, oh, so-and-so has a son who's about your age. Do you want to meet them? They're a doctor, by the way. They have a nice job. I'm like, no. No. Yeah, my parents are always bothering me about that. They're like, you should meet somebody. Why don't you go on dates? Why don't you go out on the weekends? Why don't you go to clubs? My parents are the type of people to do that. They're like, why don't you go to the clubs? Why don't you go meet people? I'm like, I don't want to go outside. More of a blind date if it's a lot less formal. Yeah, it's not arranged. It's more like a meeting where they're like, why don't you guys talk to each other? Fun fact, by the way, that's how I went to my, that's what I did for prom. I did not go to my own prom. I went to my brother's. And it was really funny because my parents were like, would you like to go with some random guy from your brother's class? And I was like, I guess. Sure. They gave me the guy's phone number and we ended up like texting. And then I went with this like guy that I don't know. But I went to my brother's prom. It was fun. I went to it was like it was a fancy house. We went to an after party. It was great. I got food poisoning. The guy was really awkward, but it was fun. He was nice. My parents gaslit me because we were on a family trip. You were like, you like chess. There's a family friend who likes to play chess. Go play with her. Turns out she was someone they wanted me to have chemistry with. Oh my god. My mom would do that sometimes. She'd be like, oh, do you remember that cute boy from your class who was a redhead? Or she would tell me things. She'd be like, oh, you should go. You should, like, I think it'd be so cute if you were to date an Australian because they have such a nice accent. And I'm like, no. She'd be like, you should date somebody who's like Australian. They have such nice accents. Or somebody who's Irish. They have such a nice accent. I'm like, what? That's so random. That's so odd. Dating somebody just because of that? Wild. She's playing the gotcha. She's like, oh, I think it'd be a nice pairing. I'm like, what? That's wild. That's wild. But it's bearing a gambit at work, to be fair, yeah. I mean, if you're on a camping trip or like a family trip and there's nothing else to do, sure, whatever. Make friends. I think it's not bad. I don't think my parents ever made an attempt to introduce me to anyone like that. Not my parents. My grandmother, maybe. But my parents, no. My parents? First of all, my dad doesn't have friends. My mom... her best friend is a lesbian, so... I guess her friends don't have kids who are around my age. My parents have accepted I'm never gonna get laid. Oh my god. They've given up hope. They're like, oh, you just do whatever. I think it's funny we hit it off really well because if we didn't, that would be an awful situation. Well, I'm pretty sure they told her, oh, there's like a nice guy, you should go talk to them, right? So I think it was probably awkward for her and you guys were just sitting there like, haha, this is so funny, our parents told us to talk to each other, right? Because that's how I feel whenever I'm forced to talk to people in this situation. They're like, oh, you should talk to that person, they're really nice. Me interacting with my cousins. No, she knew. Yeah, if she knew that you were to go talk to her and your parents told you to go talk to her, that's fine. You're just both in it because to be awkward. Right? You're just sitting there like, haha, our parents told us to talk to each other. Right? But, yeah, it's not bad. It's awkward, but it's fine. Marriage? That's a little far. Wow, Jess, yippee. But marriage is a little far, I think. If you were to just meet somebody and just be like, oh, we're just gonna talk, and if we hit it off, we hit it off. But marriage, straight off the bat, that's crazy. Chess is hot, what do you mean? Yeah. I can't play chess. It's over for me. It's over for me. I can't play chess. I think we were 13 overseas visiting grandparents and they tried setting us up. Oh gosh. No, I don't think I've ever had that experience of people trying to set me up. Like my parents have tried. No, not my parents, my grandparents have tried. Specifically my grandmother. She's like, oh, I should have somebody for you to meet. I'm like, no. But my parents are the type of people to be like, why don't you go out more? Why don't you make friends? Why don't you like talk to guys? And they're like, you should make a dating app profile. You should go message people. You should go like do this. And my dad treats dates, like interviews. He's like, you should be messaging 3 people on dating apps a day. I'm like, what kind of strat is that? I'm not gonna do that. He's like, you should message 3 people on dating apps per day. I'm like, no. Okay, to be fair, the people out there on dating apps are not the type of people that are great in a relationship. Dating grinds, exactly. He's treating it like competitive ranked dating. I'm like, that's wild. That's wild. My parents did that during middle school. I made the worst friends in high school, so my parents don't ask me to be social. No. Oh gosh. That's sad. I used to play chess a lot, but basically dropped it in high school. Oh. My parents tried to send me to a private school when I was in high school. They were like, do you want to take an exam so that you can go to a private school? And I was like, no. I am not going to a private school. I don't want to make bougie friends. I am not making those kinds of friends. Sure, it'd be one thing, like, first of all, I don't think they know what VTubers are. I don't know what they know what, I mean, they probably know what anime is, but, oh god. I can't imagine talking to people like that. There was a time when they were better, but it's almost all hookup culture now. Yeah, I don't like hookup culture. Because when you're talking to people, they only want one thing and you're like, oh. They're talking to me because every single time they message you, it's always like, hey baby, what's up? What you doing right now? What you doing? I'm like, hell no. Hell no. Hell no. Or like, what are you doing tonight? I'm like, hell no. I'm not replying to that. Low-key, if private schools weren't so bougie, I would go since the uniform would be nice. I had a uniform in high school. The infamous U up. Yeah. The WYD. What you doing? WYD. Always. Not even the full title sentence, it's always WYD. I'm like, oh my god. I had a uniform when I was in school. It was nice. We used to have blazers. They got rid of it by the time I went to that school, but it was cute. We had we had the pleated skirt with the plaid. We had a pleated plaid skirt, and then we had polos. And then button-ups. Yeah, it's cute. I had in elementary school, but high school was whatever you wanted. I had the opposite. When I was in elementary school, it was whatever. And then middle school was like a dress code. We had to wear certain types of colors. I think our school colors were no logos. You have to wear white or navy. So you could wear whatever you wanted, but it had to be those colors. And it had to have no logo. So people just wore a lot of white shirts and like navy shorts and pants and stuff like that. You could wear whatever shoes you wanted. You could wear whatever if you were outdoors, you could wear whatever jacket, but you had to have like clothes in those colors. It wasn't that hard. Had girls in yoga pants and super cropped tops. Ooh. Gosh. I think the dress code for my schools mostly is always like, you have to have your shoulders covered, no super low cut tops, and then your shorts or skirts have to be at least 4 fingers above the knee, like a whole hand above the knee. Like they can't be super short, obviously. But then when I was in high school, we had a uniform, so that's pretty much what ours was. Yeah. When I was in high school, we had to wear a uniform, so it was either between the button-up, the polo, the skirt, or the pants. And then if you were wearing a skirt, you had to either wear full-on tights, like opaque tights that are either navy or black, and then, or knee socks. And then you had to wear black leather shoes. And then we had a sweater. It was cute. It was a cute uniform. We didn't have a blazer, we didn't have a tie or anything like that, but it was just plain. It was nice. Our school colors, I can't say what the colors were because it was a little bit too exact. Like, if I told you guys our colors, you would probably know what school it was. Meow. Only uniforms there for the JRTOC program. Ooh. That's what ours was on paper, but they didn't care. Lucky. Our school cared. I had teachers who cared. I mean, they're depending on what class you had, they care, but some teachers were like, whatever. Ours definitely enforced the code, but it was a really lenient thing. You could probably guess the types of people that would be repeat offenders. True. My school was like that too. Teachers who taught certain types of classes in high school would obviously have the kids who just did not care about dress code, and the teachers stopped caring. Because they'd be like, take off your sweatshirt, that's not uniform. And they would take it off, they would turn around, they would put it back on. So they were like, oh, fine, whatever. But if you had a teacher who was really strict, they would send you to the office. So you have the types of teachers where you know you can get away with it, and then teachers where you know you can't. It's 1 p.m. here, I'll go to sleep again. Good luck, Twitch people. Yeah, hello, hi Antonio, welcome. I swear, the times that I stream is really bad for you. I can't believe I was 7 years old tying a tie every morning. Tying a tie, I couldn't tie my ties and laces until 12. Yeah, I learned how to tie a tie when I was 12. I learned how to tie a tie when I was younger. Because I was like, yeah, it'd be really fun if I knew how to tie a tie. So I taught myself. I watched a YouTube video, and then I learned how to tie ties, even though I would never ever use a tie. Actually, that's not true. I tied a tie when I have to, once for a Halloween costume, and the other time for, like, you know, dress rehearsals, or I was in band, so we had a uniform, we had to wear, we didn't have ties. We had a full-on dress up. We had to wear the skirt with the tights and the long button-up collared shirt. We had to look professional. We went to concerts. Dude, it's so funny because it was a 7:30 start. It should be a crime to make kids pull a button-up shirt and tie so early. I was prepping to be a wage slave. That's early. That's way too early. Oh gosh, my school started at 8:30. My school started at 8:30. What kind of schools are you guys going to? We started at 8:15. 8:15. Yeah, 8:30, 8:15, around there. And I took the bus to school in the morning when I was in elementary school. But when I was in high school, I think we started at 8, I believe. 8 a.m. It was a fancy elementary school private school. They had prepping for SATs. Ooh, SATs. Yeah. I went to a Montessori when I was younger. Before I went to elementary school, my parents put me in Montessori just for the fun of it. They were like, I think it'd be a fun experience. I came out of it learning how to wipe tables and learning how to do addition. Before I started kindergarten. They were like, I think it'd be fun for you to be in Montessori. I was like, oh. I didn't know it was a Montessori at the time. All I knew that I got to play in the sandbox. I was like, I get to play in the sandbox, and then I get to play with foam letters. And then they made us wipe tables. They made us, like, clean. Straight up. My parents knew about Montessori because my dad has education, background, history. He does a lot of, like, teaching, so he taught Montessori. My dad was a teacher. So they were like, I think it'd be great. We should do that. We should put Kyo through Montessori. I was only there for like a year though. I was only there for a year, and then I went to elementary. And that was fun. It was a big difference between Montessori versus kindergarten. Because I remember being in kindergarten, and I'm like, what do we do? They're like, oh, right now it's playtime. And I'm like, when are we getting to the numbers? I was a Kumon kid though. Ooh, Kumon. I never did Kumon. My parents sent me to No, our education system wasn't that great. I had Sunday school. I went to Saturday school. I went to Saturday school at 10 a.m. in the morning, and then also I went to Sunday school for like school. And then after school programs, I had those too. And then I was in a lot of programs as a kid because my parents were like, she can't ever be bored. She can't ever not do things. So on the summer, they would send me to camp. Saturday Chinese school. Ah, yes, the classics. I had Saturday, they would send me to Bible camp. I went to church school. I went to church school. During the summer, I went to camp. I went to summer camps. During school days, I had after school. I was in karate. I was in ballet. I was in gymnastics. I was in after school. I was in... What else did I do? They put me through a lot of things. I did not enjoy it. They're like, oh, it's time to go to this. I'm like, no. Oh god, I hated it. I quit a lot of the programs because I just didn't like it. Tennis, yeah, tennis is the classic. My parents played tennis. They were like, would you like to learn tennis? I was like, no. I don't have the hand-eye coordination. They made me do karate. I did karate for a little bit and then I quit because I didn't like it. The only part about karate that I didn't like was the part where they made you sit on your legs for half an hour while the teacher instructed us. I was like, my feet are falling asleep. But then they would be like, you're not in position. I'm like, I don't like sitting on my legs. I don't want to sit on the floor like that. I was a white belt. That's as far as I got. I quit really fast. Then I did gymnastics. That was fun. I can't do a cartwheel though, so they got really mad at me. They were like, why can't you do a cartwheel? I was like, I can't do cartwheels. Yeah. I did karate for like a couple months and then I stopped. I did ballet. I did dance. I did dance for a really long time. What else did I do? That's pretty much it. I did some sports. We did tennis, like soccer, yeah, dance. I did ballet, gymnastics. And then later on I did hip hop, and then I did jazz. And then I did contemporary. I switched around. It was fun. I did piano, and then I quit because my hands are very small, and then they wanted me to stretch my fingers. And I was like, my fingers don't stretch like that. I kind of wish I picked up guitar earlier, though. I picked up guitar when I was in high school. My Mandarin's still awful, gosh. Yeah, my Mandarin's pretty bad. I understand more than I speak. Same thing with Japanese. A lot of languages you speak to me in a language, I'll be like, ah, yes, I understand, but I cannot respond. High school had us do mandatory hockey or rugby. Rugby. Ooh, in high school, you know what I was part of? My clubs. I was in a lot of clubs. What did I do? The clubs I was in art club, I was in music, I founded the art club. I was the president of art club. I was like, you know in anime when they have an art club? I was that. That was our club. I was the president of that club. I was the founder. I was art club president. It was fun. And then I was in anime club. I left anime club pretty early because all anime club was just a group watch along. It wasn't fun. What else was I in? I was in badminton club. Badminton club was fun. I did sports. And then I was also in the swim team for like elementary school. So, yeah. A lot of sports, lots of things. I was watching, during the anime club in sophomore year, we watched the ITF and the teacher said we were watching hentai when the suit scene came on. Our teacher for anime club did not care what we watched. They would be on their phone in the corner doing their own thing. because the teachers required to be in the class with us as we did stuff. But anime club for my school in particular sucked because it was like a group watch along. We would watch maybe 3 episodes and we weren't allowed to talk. It was like watching a movie theater. How many people were in the art club you made? I want to say maybe 15, maybe 10. It was funny because my art teacher was pretty chill, but at the same time, my friends would also join, and it was funny. On one side, we would have kids who were actually doing art, because I would come up with projects for people to do, right? We have to have activities. And on the other side, we have people who came to the club room just to hang out after school. So they would be in the corner playing cards. They would be playing card games. And on the other side, I would look over and they are studiously doing projects. And I'm like, oh, they're so cute. They were first years, you know, freshmen. A couple of them. And so we'd be like, oh, today we're gonna be painting jars. So I would have everybody bring a jar and we would use the club materials to paint jars. And then another week we had, what did we do? We did paper mache one time. We did origami. I brought origami paper for everyone to do. We did like stuff like that. And I would come up with like little project ideas for people to make. And I would tell people like in a week in advance, I'd be like, okay, next week we're going to be doing this project, bring this type of thing, right? And then most of the other stuff, like if people wanted pencils or paper and stuff like that, that would be at the club. We would use the art club materials. That's fine. But yeah, I would have first years doing the projects that I gave them to do. And they would have a fun time. They would sit there, they would talk to each other in the corner. And then my friends, or the people that I knew, would bring their friends and they would sit on the other side in the corner of the classroom playing card games. And then somebody would bring a speaker and they would play music. So it was like a fun little cozy hangout, but like half the people were not doing art club projects. They were not doing art club projects. Or they would sit there and they would gossip. And I was like, okay, whatever, you do you. I was supposed to help lead an animation club in my high school and it died because COVID hit. Oh no, that's sad. Aww. Art clubs are really fun. That's odd. The anime club for us was just a hangout. We'd yap while anime played in the background. No, our school was like, my club, the president or whatever, they like, we have to watch anime and then we're gonna watch anime. We're not allowed to talk, and when it's done, we go home. And we're like, what's the point of watching anime as a group if we're not gonna talk about it? So my friends did not like it. We ended up just leaving. I think we just did our own thing. Yeah, it was odd. Because the people who founded the club were like that. They're like, oh, but we're trying to watch the show. We don't want people to talk. And like, what's the point of an anime club if you're not going to like talk about anime? So a lot of people ended up just, you know, not going. And that's why I started the art club, because we just anime episode case report. Exactly. We would just watch episodes of anime and we were like, wow, what's the point of being here if we're not allowed to talk? That's a generic anime club thing to do. Well, what we wanted was to just, you know, hang out. We wanted to discuss the anime while I was playing. We wanted to talk about the anime. We wanted to have discussions about it and be like, oh, look at that thing. Look, that's like, let's say we were watching Black Butler. That's Sebastian, whatever, so cool. But no, you had to sit there in silence, like a movie theater, with the lights off. I founded a filming club and we tried shooting a movie on weekends and it never got finished. Oh my gosh. At my art club, we got to paint a mural in the student council club room. They asked us to paint something in the school. We got permission from the principal. We were like, hey, can we paint on the walls? We want to do an art project. And they were like, sure. You can paint anywhere that's blank. And we were like, okay. So we painted we painted a little mural of the school mascot in the student council room because we knew somebody on student council. Reminds me I was part of a book trailer filming club. That was fun. Ooh. I was in robotics club too. I injured my leg during a shooting. Oh my god, how? I was in robotics club once. We went to an event and I remember getting lost on the subway. Cause I was going in the opposite direction. I remember texting my teacher and I was like, "Sir, I'm going to be late because I don't know where I am. I am at the very last station." Competitive robotics? Yes. So it was part of a little mini tournament. It was a day event. We got a task to build and code a robot to compete against other robots, doing a specific task to push robots out of a ring. And so we couldn't make it in advance. We had to do it the day of, but we were allowed to do research beforehand on how to do things. So we would practice, kind of. We would do our own research of how to code stuff. And then on the day of, they gave us certain types of materials and we were limited to, like, everybody has the same ideas. Everybody has the same ideas and we all had to create something with that robot. And everybody had like a different type of design. So one of them, we had to basically put robots against each other in a ring. And whoever, I don't remember if it was balloons or if you had to push the other robot out of the ring, but you had to protect something or destroy the other car. If the robot doesn't work anymore, you had to control it through a controller. And I remember we were using Raspberry Pis. And so the materials that they gave us was like cardboard, like a big sheet of cardboard. We only got that one piece of cardboard and then some screws, wires, cables, and like other pieces to build our robot around the wheels and stuff like that. And depends on what kind of design that you were trying to go for. We had maybe, I think the first hours of the morning, it started at, I believe 9 to 11. We got 4 or 3 hours to build a robot. And then the rest of the afternoon was tournaments. So people pitting the robots against each other. We didn't make it very far. I think we made it to maybe the 3rd or 4th bracket, but we lost pretty early on. Because we had a lot of tech issues at the beginning. It was kind of fun, but it was a lot of fun, yeah. My job was building the robot and coming up with ideas. We had a team dedicated to coding and they were struggling because they were like, "I don't know how to code." It was fun. I remember going to anime club and seeing people go, "Yo, I'm a weeb, I watch Dragon Ball Z," and sat there doing, damn well I could not talk about Bunny Girl Senpai or Monster Musume. They weren't a freak like you. They didn't know. They didn't understand. I was one of the founding members of my robotics club. Ooh. I was a TA for the AP physics class that year, so during class I did work for the robotics club, but people did need help. That's fun. I think robotics is pretty cool. I love STEM, like STEM stuff. Science and engineering. I'm not smart enough for it, for like full-on engineering coding, but it's just fun to participate. My friend brought me to the robotics club as an ideas guy. It was just an excuse to let me hang out with him. You were the club mascot. My school unfortunately had pretty much no engineering computer science presence. The coding club was only set up much later when I was in my last few years. Oh, that's kind of sad. That's kind of sad. My school had a science club as well. Although most of the stuff they did in science class was like chemistry stuff. And I was like, I want science involving biology. I'm not interested in chemistry that much. It was mostly like, what kind of cool things can we do color reactions in? Like, we're gonna burn phosphorus and it's gonna glow for half a second. And I'm like, that's fun, I guess, but I want to do cool things in biology. Like, I want to go outside and I want to catch bugs. That's my idea of biology. Dissecting the janitors. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do on after school. After school Wednesdays, we dissect things. They brought me to a tournament and I got to present their idea and was unironically half surprised with what they made while I was presenting it. You didn't even know what was happening? You didn't even know what they were doing? That's funny. My school has a dedicated room for the robotics club now. Not sure if they have classes for it, but it's neat to see it's grown. Ooh, that's cool. That's fun. Like, depending on what kind of robotics club it is, right? Because I know some people go into the Lego Mindstorm route, and there's some people who go into full coding, like Raspberry Pis and all that, right? You can do like full-on coding projects with Raspberry Pis for more flexibility, but you can also do like Lego Mindstorm, and Lego Mindstorm is pretty easy, pretty basic. You see, they integrated AI into an X-ray, of course. I had zero idea what they were making. Oh my gosh. What? How? What was the project? That reminds me, did you guys ever have a project involving pasta when you were in school? When you were in high school, did you ever have a physics project involving pasta? Because my school did. My school teacher, my physics teacher, was like, we're gonna be making pasta bridges. And then we had to do tests to support weight. And that was fun. Fair notice, these guys are serial hackathon nerds. Oh. They attend hackathons. We are on a different level. That was second grade? That was high school for me. That was high school for me. We didn't do the egg drop test, we did bridges. And then we gotta like hang weights on the bridge in the middle. I never did pasta projects, really? We had a group assignment to do pasta projects, but I couldn't find a group member, so I did mine by myself. I did mine alone. I didn't have friends in my physics class. Because my friends were all in AP. And I was... Wait, no, was I in AP? No, I was in regular. I was in a different class. We got to test balsa wood towers. My teacher would sit on mine. Oh my god. One person had an insane bridge where they had somebody hang a rope onto the bridge and they had a person hang off of it. And they were hanging onto that bridge for a good couple of seconds before it finally broke. It took a while for that bridge broke. They were stress testing that thing. They were like, this thing's not breaking. A pasta bridge could support a full person. It was crazy. And then they stood on it too. I was like, wow. Industrial grade pasta bridge. That thing was sturdy. That was crazy. Yeah. It was, we were graded based off of how heavy the bridge was and how much weight it could contain. That bridge was thick. It had so much pasta glued onto it. It was heavy, but it was strong. It was strong. My bridge that I made was light. I had a really light bridge. And it was kind of strong. It was decent. I've never heard of bridges made of pasta. It's a science project. You can look it up. It's a physics project. We were supposed to calculate, based off of the angles, how strong in research, like write a research report of like types of bridges, what type of bridge you picked, what type of bridge that's used in real life that use that type of bridge type, and then create a bridge made of pasta out of it. Yeah, that was our project. Pasta bridges. There's also like the other... I love the whole how much can a hold becomes quickly how many triangles am I willing to make? Yeah, I mean, bridges are all about triangles because that's the best way to distribute weight in any way. Triangles are very strong. Also, I realize if I'm sitting here, I'm really quiet versus if I'm like right here, I sound crystal clear. I should be closer to my mic. I'm sitting too far away. But yeah. Triangles are nice. That was actually probably one of my favorite physics projects in particular. But my favorite overall course in school was always biology because I loved my AP biology teacher. She was really fun. Like, I had really good high school teachers that made a lot of the subjects really fun. Because like my physics teacher was very entertaining. He was very entertaining. He was the type of person, when he was teaching us centripetal force, he would bring in a flying pig with wings. It was a mechanical pig with wings that would spin in a circle, and he would hang it from the ceiling, and he'd be like, "This will only happen when pigs fly," and he would have like a whole bit that he would do. He was really funny. And he would hang it from the ceiling. He would like stand on the desk. He would stand on the desk and do crazy things. He was really funny. And then my biology teacher would always give us really fun projects. Like, she would encourage us to be creative and do like cool stuff. So she'd be like, "I want you to create a project based off of this. I want you to create a diagram. I don't care what it is. Sky's the limit. Just, it has to include this and it has to have labels." So a lot of our projects based on biology was like, "Oh, I want you to create the human digestive system, and it has to have these parts, but it has to be creative." And so I had a lot of fun with that because I got to design cool things. She's like, "It has to have this picture, you have to cut it out, you have to color it, you have to make labels, you have to make it layered and show all the different parts, you have to organize it in a proper way, but it has to be done in a creative way. You could do it on a piece of paper, you could do it on a poster board, you could like make it colorful, but it has to be cool looking." And she gave us points off creativity. So I really enjoyed creative projects. So what I did for the digester project was I took a shirt and I stuffed it with scraps of fabric and scraps of like trash bags. I forgot what I named it. I gave it a name, I gave it a face. And I put my project based off of that. I made an actual human being. Like, I made like a stuffed toy out of an old t-shirt. It was fun. I think I was the only person who did that. I was like, "Here is my human being that I made out of stuffed toy with a face." And it was kind of creepy looking. Not gonna lie, I sewed that thing together by hand. It's alive, exactly. It had a face. I gave it a body. I sewed it together. It was squishy. And I gave it a name. And people were looking at my thing like, "What is that?" I'm like, that's my stuff. That's my person, you know? I gave it a name and everything. I forgot what I named it. Other people were doing cool things, you know? Like, they made it out of a shoebox. They made it out of a poster board. A lot of people did poster boards, and I'm like, here is my person. Here is my person. I think my bio teacher was why I lost all interest in marine biology. Yeah, that's the thing about teaching, is that it really depends on the teacher to make things entertaining for you. Because if they do not do a good job of like teaching properly, like, people can lose interest, and the same thing, like, you can gain interest too. Like, it could be entirely the reason why a person goes into a subject, because they could be like, "Oh, I really like this subject because the teacher taught it in a really engaging way." But then when you go into it more, some people realize really quickly, they're like, "Oh, the only reason I like the subject is because the teacher." Or the opposite, where they really like the subject, but they didn't like the teacher that taught it because the teacher who was teaching it didn't do a good job. They made it really boring, and that's kind of sad. But I've always had good luck with my teachers, where my teachers are pretty entertaining. Yeah. There was a period of time where, when I was choosing my major, I wanted to go into zoology because I liked biology. But then I looked at the requirements for biology, and I did get into the school. I did get into that school. It was actually a pretty competitive program, but I just didn't want to go. Because the requirements, I was looking at the syllabus, and they were like, "Oh, the courses that you have to take the basic sciences. You gotta take chemistry again, you gotta take organic chemistry, you gotta take physics again." I had to take calculus, as well as stats, and I was like, I'm not doing all that. But I think it would have been really cool to go into zoology. But then I had to look at my future. I was like, what am I going to do with a zoology degree as an undergrad? Because when I was really, really little, I wanted to be a veterinarian. I really wanted to be a veterinarian. Until I did like a little mini summer project / like camp with like as a veterinarian kind of like clinic program thing. And I was learning about animal care as a veterinarian, like an introduction course to veterinarian stuff. And I was like, ooh, I don't want to do that anymore. I don't think that would be very fun because veterinarians have to do surgery and I do not like looking at blood. I do not like looking at blood. So I realized very quickly, I was like, I don't think I could be a veterinarian. But I like animals. I know how to do animal CPR. I know how to do animal, like, caretaking. I know a lot about, like, biology of animals. Because that was a lot of stuff that they taught us. It was like, what to do for if your animal is on the floor. What to do, how to treat a wound. It's very similar to humans. But at the same time, not really, because they have different anatomy. But a lot of things are very similar. Like CPR for dogs and CPR for cats, or how to tell if, you know, the ABCs, or if they have, like, if they're lying on the ground, what to do first. Like, should you check for poisoning? Should you check for vomiting? Did their heart stop? How to take their heart rate? It was actually a really, really interesting, like, camp that I went to learn, like, animal care. That was pretty fun. But I knew that doing it as a career and doing surgery for that, I was like, ooh, that's gonna be... Maybe if I kept going into it, I've gotten used to the blood, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't want to look at surgery. I don't want to cut things open. Like, I can't even watch... You know those shows where they have, like, Grey's Anatomy or, like, House MD, and they're cutting people open and they show it on screen? I can't look at that. I can't look at that. I feel sick. Surgeons are respect? Yeah. But at the same time, you know how cool it would be to be a veterinarian? Man, in the apocalypse, if you were to ever run into a zombie apocalypse, the number one person you want on your team as a doctor is not a regular doctor. You want a veterinarian because they have experience with knowing drugs. They have experience with getting things to not bite them. They have experience working with things not biting them because they have experience working with animals. So they have the hands-on training for feisty people. And they know how to do surgery. If some doctors, like if you work with a pediatrician, they do not do surgery. Pediatricians don't do surgery. They might know how to prescribe medicine, they know all about the human body, but they don't have experience doing surgery. Meanwhile, if you were a veterinarian, you know how to do everything. So that's pretty cool. That's why I always say, if I was to be in a zombie apocalypse, I want to find a veterinarian. They know about the human body, they know about the animal's body, because a lot of the medicines they give to animals is the same exact stuff they give to humans, just in smaller doses. Which is really funny, because people took that logic during the pandemic, and that's the reason why we had a lot of people injecting themselves with horse tranquilizer. There's people giving themselves horse dewormer during the pandemic, going like, I don't need a vaccine. Yeah, it was a thing. People were like, I don't need a vaccine. I'm just gonna give myself horse dewormer. And you were like, don't do that. Don't do that. Yes, that was fun. Fun fact, if you give yourself horse dewormer, heart dewormer, it won't kill you. It'll just make you really loopy and it'll make you pass out. You'll be very loopy and you'll be very sick, but it's not gonna kill you. Maybe give yourself a large dose, but it wasn't recommended. People were doing that during the pandemic and it was kind of funny. Can vets give me lollipops after my checkup? Maybe. You'll get a dog treat. That's even better. That's nuts. Yeah, it's kind of funny. Also, it's like 4 a.m. Like 4 a.m. I should go to bed. I have to go... Oh my god, am I gonna wake up tomorrow? I have to go touch grass. I have to go out tomorrow. I have to go do things. Oh god. Honk me me. Yes, I have to go eat. I did sleep beforehand though. After dinner, I went to go lie down and I went to go sleep. I was like 8. And then I woke up. And then my dad came into my room. He was like, if you're gonna lie in bed like that, why don't you just get ready for bed? And I'm like, but I wanted to stream because I wanted to test a couple things. Night night? Yeah, good night guys. Yeah, this was supposed to be a short stream. I was just gonna yap a little bit, test a couple things. I wanted to test two things. My chat, and I wanted to test YouTube low latency mode. So, that. I think YouTube chat delay's fixed. We're a lot better. So, yippee! Yay! I hope it's better for people over there. Let's see here. I don't know. I don't know who to raid. Nobody's streaming at this time. I'm gonna go to bed. I will be streaming tomorrow. I will be having a repo collab at 8 p.m. I have to go get repo, but I will probably be doing that tomorrow if I make it back on time. Probably. I will. I plan on going out in the afternoon, so I should be back. Yes, I will be doing repo, and yeah. Good night, everybody. Thank you all for stopping by. It was fun yapping. It was fun talking to y'all. Good night or good morning, yeah. Good night? Good afternoon? No. Good night? Yeah, good night. It's still nighttime for me. Listen. If it's still dark outside, that's still nighttime. It's still nighttime. If you haven't gone to bed yet and you haven't woken up the next day, it's still nighttime. Doesn't matter. Still good night. Yes, I will be here tomorrow playing Repo with some other VTubers. I don't know how it's gonna go. Some of these people I have not streamed with. I know them. I've talked to them before. I haven't collabed with people in a large group setting, so that's gonna be fun. I haven't played Repo before either, so it might be a little bit scuffed. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be interesting. It'll be my first time. Our first time trying a semi-large group collab. And playing Repo, so. Should be cool. Should be fun. Good night. I'm going. Bye-bye. Bye. Bye. First time human contact. First time talking to strangers. First time talking to people. Oh.